Development joint with the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media is hereby resumed. The committees are conducting this third part of our hearings to put to the table again the deliberations on the proposed Eddie Garcia bill, which we started last August 29. On September 15 and 23, this representation, together with the chairman of the Committee on Mass Media and Public Information and Mass Media, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, met with the stakeholders in the industry where they shared insightful comments and recommendations for the said measure. Indeed, listening from the experiences and suggestions of the individuals who are themselves engaged in this industry places our appreciation of the matter at the proper perspective. Today, we intend to enrich our discussion so we can come up with the best version of the proposed Eddie Garcia law. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Robin Hood Padilla and the committee secretary is directed to please acknowledge the presence of our resource persons today.
Mr. Chairman, good morning, Senator Padilla. The record, the following resource persons are here from the various government agencies: the Department of Labor and Employment, Director Alvin Curada; from the Department of Interior and Local Government, Attorney Keith Mingulio; from the Pag-ibig Fund, Attorney Jose Roberto Po, together with Ms. Anela Marie Aliena; from the PhilHealth, Mr. Rex Paul Ricoter; from the Film Development Council of the Philippines, Mr. Tirso Cruz III, the chair; from the Philippine Information Agency, Deputy Director General Catherine De Castro, together with Mr. Philip Evangelista; from the People's Television Network Incorporated, Ms. Analisa Puod, the General Manager, together with Ms. Marie Nicolas, Attorney Steve Yanson, and Attorney Jenica Clemente. From the Workers and Employees Program of the University of the Philippines College of Law, Attorney Emil Johini Mendoza. Sir. From the various interest groups, we have the GMA Network Incorporated, Attorney Jose Vener Ibarra, together with Mr. Fidel Asuncion, Attorney Regino Moreno, and Attorney Ursuline Grace Feliciano. From the ABS-CBN Corporation, Attorney Maria Sherry Cruz, together with Mr. Leodivico Bumubong Jr. From the Film Academy of the Philippines, Mr. Manny Morfe, Director General. From the Actor League of Filipino Actors, Mr. Dingong Dantes, the Chairman, together with Ms. Isa Calzado Winter, Board of Directors. From the Philippine Theater Actor Guild Incorporated, Ms. Titin Villanueva, the Directors Guild of the Philippines, Mr. Carlos Sigon Reyna, the Vice President. From the Inter-Guild Alliance, Ms. Ana Patricia Lapus, the Chairperson. Okay. From the Production and Location Managers Guild of the Philippines, Ms. Andrea Aquino. From the Production Designers Circle of the Philippines, Mr. Ben Padero. From the Regional Film Leaders, Ms. Andre Carly Hernandez. From the Lupon ng Pilipinong Sinematografo, Ms. Ann Monzon, President. From the Filipino Screenwriters Guild, Ms. Jules Dan Catanyag. Mr. Jules Dan Catanyag, together with Mr. Michael Angelo Dagnalan. From the Guild of Assistant Directors and Script Supervisors, Mr. Von Ramiro Plata, together with Ms. Francis Ann Frias. From the Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, Mr. Carlos Miguel Oñate. And also Mr. Percival Intalan, the President of the PMPPA. Mr. Chairman, for the record, the following government agencies have already submitted their position papers: the Department of Labor and Employment, the DILG, the Presidential Communications Office, the Philippine Commission on Women, Pag-ibig Fund, the Social Security System, and the Workers and Employees Program of the University of the Philippines College of Law. On the part of the private organizations, the following also have submitted their position papers: ABS-CBN Corporation, GMA Network, TV5, Philippine Motion Pictures Producers Association, the Production Designers Circle of the Philippines, Philippine Theaters Actors Guild, the National Alliance of Broadcast Union, the Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, and the Interguild Alliance. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Comsec. I would like to remind the persons, the resource persons here that this will be my last hearing with regard to the Eddie Garcia bill before I submit our committee report in the Senate. I would like to give the floor to Senator Robin Hood Padilla for his opening statement.
Maraming salamat po sa ating mahal na senador, Senator Jingo Estrada, ang tagapagtanggol ng masa. A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Isang magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Gusto ko lamang pong ipaalam sa lahat ng ating mga panauhin na ito pong bill na ito ay pinag-aralan pong mabuti ng ating chairman. Binigyan po ito ng sapat na panahon. Nagkaroon po kami ng mga consultation. Minsan po, katunayan, hindi nakasama sa budget ng Senado yung ginawa naming consultation. Sapagkat ayaw naming sabihin na kami ay personal interest. Ito po ay ginagawa namin dahil alam naman ng DOLE, mismong galing sa DOLE, na abnormal ang klase ng trabaho sa pelikula at sa telebisyon, pati na rin sa entablado. Kaya po ito hinaharap ng ating buting chairman sapagkat karoon na po ng mga maraming pag-uusap ng patungkol dito. Nagkaroon na po ng maraming kasunduan pero wala pang batas na nagaganap. Kaya ito pong pag-uusap na ito, katulad po ng sinabi ng ating chairman, huli na po ito. Kaya sana, dito po sa pag-uusap na ito, mailabas na po natin lahat yung mga gusto natin, nasa damdamin natin, ilabas na po natin. Dahil sana, pagkatapos po nito, wala nang turuan, wala nang sisihan, wala nang batuhan, at maging dahilan para magkaroon ng isang boses ang industriya, hindi lamang ng pelikula, hindi lamang ng telebisyon, hindi lamang ng entablado, kundi ng buong entertainment industry. At yun po ang maging daan upang makuha din natin yung isa pang klase ng pakikibaka naman at yun naman yung patungkol sa holiday. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po ang aming mahal na Pangulo.
Thank you, Senator Robin Hood. Anybody who wishes to make an opening statement? Mr. Dingdong Dantes.
Magandang umaga po, Chairman Estrada and the esteemed members of the committee, Senator Padilla, mga kasamahan sa industriya, magandang umaga po. Ako po si Dong Dantes, kasama ko po si Isa Colsado, kumakatawan sa Actor, League of Filipino Actors, isa pong SEC-registered na organisasyon na binubuo ng 150 active members na kasalukuyan pong nagtatrabaho sa larangan ng pelikula, telebisyon, entablado at digital media. Gusto po namin magpasalamat na umabot na tayo ng ganito. Ganito po kalayo sa panukalang ito. Patunay po na talaga kapag tayo nagkakaisa, makabuluhang mga layunin ang nasasagawa. We come here today with a focused sentiment. We acknowledge the interrelated roles that each critical sector in the industry assumes. The ultimate objective is neither personal nor selfish as we stand to maximize artist productivity and overall welfare of the workers across the board. That way, from a social and economic standpoint, lahat po ng mga industry participants, including workers, artists, and employer producers, stand to gain much to the satisfaction of our nation as a whole. Mga kasamahan po, as co-creators in the art of storytelling, we passionately reiterate our call for the implementation of effective and responsive labor laws and regulations. Ito pang mga measures nito are essential to ensure not only optimal performance but also to safeguard the physical and mental well-being of our dedicated workforce. The timely laws we endorse encompass contractual reliability, rationalized wages and benefits, work hazard prevention, thoughtful consideration of the work environment, and reasonable limitations po sa working hours. We have submitted po our detailed position paper, but please allow me to run down the salient points for the purpose of the discussion. Una po, regarding working hours and work and rest period, we stand united in advocating for the regulated working hours, supporting an 8 to 12-hour work period exclusive po of meal breaks, and a maximum allowable working day of 16 hours. This aligns with the Interguild Alliance's proposal and excludes minors and seniors who must adhere to specific limitations. Pangalawa po, on rest periods, we concur with the proposed 10 to 12-hour rest period with a minimum of 10 hours for lock-in shoots as determined by the Tripartite Council. Thirdly, we are thankful for the strengthened inclusion of the OSH or Occupational Safety Health requirements and the need for OSH officers on set ensuring a healthy working environment. And fourthly, ACTOR places a strong emphasis on mitigating sexual harassment within our industry by formalizing measures in contracts to respect actors' boundaries. This includes the establishment of intimacy coordinators, strict reporting mechanisms, and clear contractual language. We also propose the creation of an easily accessible help desk to assist industry workers in addressing such issues and support the inclusion of a penal provision to enhance accountability. And lastly po, we champion performers' rights to fair remuneration, and we fully support the establishment of a tripartite council as outlined in the existing bills. This council, we believe, is pivotal in fostering collaboration and ensuring the overall well-being of workers in the industry. It also provides a platform for industry stakeholders, including workers, producers, and even government representatives to collectively address the very peculiar safety concerns, labor conditions, and industry standards. Together, we can strengthen our industry, ensuring it thrives habang pinaprioritize natin ang welfare of all those who contribute to its success. Bilang pong worker artist, wholeheartedly po united po kami in the goal to raise the quality of our industry even further, Mr. Chair. However, we need to start by lifting each other up because we believe that we all share a common destination. And with the success of the entertainment industry in mind po, we highlight the value of establishing the right standards and safeguards to govern it. And by that, we expect the delivery of captivating performances that breathe life into the stories we tell. Because in the long run po, we can also expect sustainability and growth in the industry that makes ours truly world-class. Kaya, panghuli, it is our hope for us to strike a harmonious balance between creative output and the well-being of all the performers for the growth and success of the industry and our nation's awareness. ACTOR po and all our stakeholders are very grateful, Mr. Chair, Mr. Senator, and honored for the opportunity to be heard in the process of developing these bills. We pledge our commitment and assistance in seeing that these bills are enacted into the Eddie Garcia law. The Eddie Garcia law would not just ensure safety in the workplace, but confer to all workers in front and behind the cameras a dignity fitting to the industry we serve, the industry where Eddie Garcia spent most of his life. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Dingdong Dantes. Anybody else who wishes to give their opening statements? Yes, please identify yourself. Patricia Lapus of
Hello, I'm Anna Patricia Lapus of Interguild Alliance.
Interguild Alliance. All right.
Yes. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chair. The Interguild Alliance is a private sector community-based network of 14 guilds and organizations that represent professional workers in the film, TV, and advertising industries.
Can you please list down what are these 14 guilds under your organization?
Included in the 14 guilds present here today are actor. We have the Directors Guild of the Philippines, or DGPI. We also have the Guild of Assistant Directors and Script Supervisors, the Filipino Screenwriters Guild. We also have Lupon, ng mga Pilipinong Cinematograpo, or the cinematographers, one of the cinematographers guild. We also have in our membership Filipino film editors, kapisanan ng mga assistant directors sa Patalastas or CAPS. We also have the North Luzon Cinema Guild, represented here today by Ms. Amaya Han of the Regional Film Leaders. Also present here today is the Production Designer Circle of the Philippines, or PD Circle, the Philippine Independent Producers Group, Soundspeed Philippines, and Association of Filipino Stuntmen.
Is your organization registered with the SEC?
Yes, sir. BIR and ZEC.
Continue.
Thank you, Chair. The film and television industries deserve the attention as they comprise a cultural force that has contributed much to nation building and activated the economy through employment and income generation. We laud the focus of the Senate in giving these industries the support for the current bills aim to further enhance, protect, and professionalize them. As the Senate prepares to consolidate several bills upgrading the working conditions and safety standards of the audiovisual industries, we thank you for enjoining the IGA to participate in these discussions. We'll summarize our three key elements for the bills presented here today. Our position is as follows. Firstly, we suggest a 16-hour maximum time frame. This means from first man on set to the last man.
Pakiulit your last statement.
We suggest a 16-hour maximum time frame from the first man on set to the last man on set. I think we believe it must be noted that it usually takes a minimum of 2 hours to settle into the location, another 2 hours for meal breaks, and another hour maybe to dismantle everything. So that's roughly 5 to 6 hours where the camera isn't even running.
Including the ingress and egress. Including.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chair. Secondly, we suggest a 10-hour minimum turnaround time, meaning from taillights or the last man offset to the first call of the next shooting date. And lastly, we also suggest an overtime pay takes effect after 14 hours. It must, however, be noted that personal contracts, negotiations, and other legal agreements of above-the-line film workers with respect to their respective productions be honored and respected. In line with this, we also request for the inclusion of IGA representation in the technical working group or tripartite groupings. It is a struggling moment for the industry, but we believe that we can help shape a good future together. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else who is chairman of the FDCP, Mr. Tirso Cruz III?
Yes, good morning, Chair, Honorable Jingoy Ercito Estrada. Of course, I also would like to recognize Senator Robin Hood Carino Padilla. Anyway, this will be short. as chairman of the FDCP, holds that it is very timely and relevant that the government puts a premium on protecting the safety and welfare of the workers in the film industry. But it is also equally important to give focus on the capacity and limitation of our Filipino production companies, who are all still recovering from the economic downturns brought about by the late COVID-19 pandemic. The recovery and development of our beloved Philippine film industry has many problems that will have to be solved with multidisciplinary approaches that will require the collective efforts of all of us. We all have to look at an industry-wide perspective, a bird's eye view that acknowledges all the needs from all sectors of the film industry, from the actors to the production crews to the production companies and the end users. I'd like to highlight the merits studying the best practices from other countries, but it would also be favorable to study the policies in the protection of workers in other industries of the Philippines that are more developed or sophisticated in addressing the needs of labor. As we continuously find the common ground and make important compromises, I believe that we can reach agreements that will both benefit the demands of our hardworking film workers, the economic consideration of our Filipino production companies, and the changing preferences and taste of the Filipino audience. That will be all, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tirso Cruz III. Anybody else? Dr. Carlitos Sigion Reyna.
Thank you very much, Your Honors, Senators Estrada and Padilla, for this opportunity to participate in this hearing on the Eddie Garcia bill. We in the Directors Guild are in support of upholding and protecting workers' welfare. At the same time, we are also concerned about sustaining production, giving the producers enough, giving them the opportunity to sustain production on an industrial scale. Therefore, at the same time, we are concerned about having enough time for the directors to do their work well, to have enough time, to have enough shooting hours in the shooting day to do their work well. So all of this, and of course, finally, the fourth interest is the public. The most important interest is the public's right to good output from the film industry, the film and television industries. So we're all here for. We are in support of workers' rights, a sustainable, productive industry, good quality filmmaking and television making and all of this media making, content making. So it is in that regard that we are the Directors Guild, as members of the as a member of the Interguild Alliance, we are in support with the position of the Interguild Alliance. But I would also like to add some things that were probably not mentioned, but I will just summarize everything quickly. No? So the Directors Guild, we are in support of the production insurance, not general health insurance for the production members, but insurance for the against accident and health cases on a production basis, on a per production basis for everybody in production. We are in support of the 16 hours maximum per day, 16 hours maximum. That would be the working day from ingress of the first worker to egress of the last worker. Oh, I'm sorry, from call time of the first worker to tail lights of the last worker. We are in support of the 10-hour minimum turnaround time. We take reservations about the hazard pay. We are not in support of the hazard pay. The reason for this is that any risks for stuntmen or production members shooting in dangerous areas or time periods, etc., should be costed or incorporated into the talent fees of the people involved anyway. And in the production insurance policies against death and accidents taken out on the production members, they should be, people should be insured. Therefore, we are in support of the production insurance anyway. Because of these additional production expenses, DGPI does not support additional hazard pay for anybody. On the nighttime differential, DGPI does not support this nighttime differential. The night scenes are sometimes bunched together into one shooting day that just happens to be scheduled at night. Shooting at night or scheduling a night shoot to constitute one working day, separated by turnaround between it and other shooting days before and after it, is common practice for more efficient scheduling. Provided the production sticks to 16 hours minimum, 16 hours maximum, even at night, separated by 10-hour turnaround time before and after the shoot day, then DGPI sees no justification for a nighttime differential. Regarding overtime pay, the DGPI is in support of overtime pay beyond 14 hours, beyond the 14th hour of work. And however, we are concerned, we are really more in support of the overtime pay for all below the line workers rather than above the line workers. Because it is the below the line workers who need the overtime. The above the line workers are usually packaged, rated anyway, and it's kind of tricky to. But if we have to go there, our position is we leave the percentages of overtime, percentages of the hourly rate, that whole discussion. We leave that to further discussions in the TWG or in the tripartite council. But we really are in support only of overtime for below the line workers. So that's I would end it at that point, and look forward to participating in more discussions on this. Thank you very much, Your Honors.
Thank you, Direct. Anybody else? Mr. Manny Morf, meron pa?
The producer side, wala.
Producer side? I think they already submitted their position paper, no? Anyway, Mr. Manny Morfe, the Director General of the
correction po,
Film Academy.
IC pa lang po. Okay.
Marami
Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Film Academy.
Senator Estrada and Senator Padilla. Ang Film Academy ay meron lang mga plano at mga desisyon tungkol dito sa bill na pinag-uusapan nating lahat nung araw pa. Kaya I'm speaking on behalf of the Film Academy as what we have planned years ago, even during the time of Leo Martinez. We support, I'm here, we've been listening, nakikinig po kami sa lahat ng binibigay na opinyon ng iba't ibang organisasyon, and we agreed on some parts at lalong-lalo na po sa working hours, we agreed on that. Ang Film Academy ay binubuo din ng iba't ibang samahan ng mga manggagawa sa pelikulang Pilipino. At kami ay sumusuporta sa mga binabanggit nila ng mga ng mga working hours, except lang po, and I would like to stress, ang amin pong stand ay wala pong extension whatsoever. 16-hour work is period. There should be no extension or kahit po bayaran, because mas mahalaga po sa Film Academy ang kahalagahan ng kalusugan ng manggagawa. Ang kailangan po ng manggagawa, especially to the kind of work that I belong to. I am a production designer ever since, at wala po akong alam na trabaho kundi ito, na ayan, kaharap po natin ang mga manggagawa na isa sa pinakamahirap na trabaho sa pelikula ay ang art department, ang production design. Kami po ay nagsiset up ahead of time, 2 hours before, at kami din po yung huling umaalis 2 hours after. So ang point po namin is wala pong extension. I would like to use the word period. Na po ano sabihin ng iba kasi po pag kahit yung iba magbibigay ng second unit, second team, hindi po yun applicable. As in, like po sa akin, ibig mo sabihin pag ako natapos na, pagpapasok ko ng ibang production designer, that is not applicable. So we request this group of people, so let's fight for a period, 16 hours period. Wala pong extension, kahit bayaran ka pa ng doble ng producer, it doesn't really matter. Money is not a matter when it comes to considering our health. That is our stand on this Eddie Garcia bill. Sa lahat po ng mga panukala dito, we support it. Kaya we would like just to stress deeply, there should be no extension, no reason, nothing at all. Let's fight for that. We don't need more money. We need protection for our health so we could work na mas matagal pa sa industriya. Salamat po sa lahat.
Thank you, Mr. Manny. Just a curious question, Mr. Morphe. How many guilds are under Film Academy?
Sa Film Academy po, we have 12 guilds, 12 po. Mga cinematografiya, sa script writing, production design, kamukha din po ng Inter-Guild Alliance, they have 14 kasi sinama po nila. We're almost the same group of workers, mga script writers, sound technicians, sound engineers. Pati po ang dalawang asosasyon ng mga producers are under the Film Academy of the Philippines, which was established way back in 1981.
Okay, yung bang Inter-Guild Alliance tsaka yung Film Academy, nagkakaisa ba kayo?
Well,
The guilds that you represent.
well,
Kasi,
okay. So,
kasi meron tayong CAP, tapos meron tayong aktor, pero yung iba sa mga producers guild, iba yung sa director. Ano ito, breakaway group ba ito, no?
wala po akong maibibigay na komento, kundi okay lang po. Kasi ang nakita ko po kasi doon, sarili ko pong opinion, kami po ay mga old-timers na sa pelikula, na sila ay parang, well, ang nakita ko po noon where they were establishing, somehow they do not believe in the membership of the Academy Guilds because they are considered old-timers. They are the new breed of workers which are working presently in the industry. But ang amin naman, ang aking masasabi is yung aming kakayanan, but we are not in difference with the IGA. Ang pinaglalaban nila, kaya nga po ako, we did not presented a working paper proposal because as I have heard, I agree on the proposal of 16 hours. I do. Sa dami-dami po na ibibigay ng mga position papers, masyado na pong magulo. Ang nakikita ko po, just, well, I'm not, modesty aside, I would rather to speak for everybody, kasi ang amin sa Film Academy, magkaisa tayo regardless of ano sinamahan mo, blood group. Importante po, magkaisa. Kasi pag hindi po tayo nagkaisa mga kababayan ko, mga taga-pelikula, kahit na 10 senador ang mag-usap-usap, hindi po tayo makakabuo ng kahit na isang alituntunin para sa industriya. Hindi po yan mabubuo. I would like to stress that. Let's unite finally in order to establish one set of working rules and regulations for the whole industry. I beg of you people. I've been there for quite so long. Pag hindi po napagbigyan yung kanilang opinion ng isang grupo, gagawa ng bagong grupo. Hindi napansin yung grupo nila, gagawa na naman. Wala pong katapusan. Para po tayo mga Pilipino sa abroad. Kanya-kanyang gawa ng mga grupo. Ay nako, ito po, kahit ng silinyo, we're working on a unification of all the stakeholders in the movie industry. We will be doing that, well, as I have mentioned in our past meeting, and we call it a summit. And ako, I am working for that unification of all working people in the industry, regardless of ano pangalan mo, ikaw man SEC1, si Pepe ka, importante, sa ano ba industriya mo? Isa lang naman po gawa ng pelikula. Hindi po ba? Well, I would like to, yung pasensya na po yung word ni Mr. Carlos Tigarela kanina na, ano yung word niya? Yung, hindi yung lesser, below the line. Hindi ko po tinututuan because I consider regardless of ikaw ay set up ka lang ng tent, set up ka ng mga lahat ng ginagamit sa paggawa ng pelikula, level lang yan. At we support a non-extension the working hours because regardless na ikaw ay artista, regardless na ikaw ay director, regardless na ikaw ay utility lamang, we should be the level on a one level line that we are workers of the industry. That I would like to appeal. Let's think that way, hindi po tayo nagkakagulo-gulo. Iba-iba lang po ang halaga ng sinasahod natin. Pero ang pinagtatrabahuan po natin ay isang industriya lamang. Ano po ba ako?
Thank you,
Maraming salamat po.
thank you, Mr. Manny. That is what I mentioned during our last consultation hearing last Saturday. If we cannot get our acts together in the movie industry, we cannot achieve anything here. That is why sana magkaisa na kayo, yung mga breakaway group daw. Kasi sabi ni Madam Imelda Papin, who is the president of the CAP, bakit merong isang grupong aktor, bakit hindi kayo magsama? Sabi, breakaway group daw kayo. Can you please comment on that?
Sure.
Kayo raw ay yung mga members daw ng aktor, mga class daw, mga matataas. Yun daw mga members nila, medyo hindi masyadong sikat.
Siguro, konting konteksto lang po kung paano nabuo ang aktor. Nabuo po kasi ang aktor nung height ng pandemic, nung panahon na hindi namin alam kung anong mangyayari sa industriya, kung anong gagawin namin. And we just started with a small community of actors na kami nag-uusap. May mga common beliefs kami, may mga common aspirations. And in that moment, sabi namin, sige, bakit hindi natin itaguyod itong grupo na to for our community who are really very active presently. Hindi lang naman sa mga issue na ganito ang layunin ng aktor sa pagbuo ng organisasyon. Meron din kaming mga layunin katulad ng pagtatayo ng mga social enterprise. So my point is may specific needs po bawat isang grupo. And yung sa amin po, yung sa grupo namin aktor with 150 members, ito po yung isang mechanism.
Many members?
150
150
po. Namin po
compared to 1,000 plus daw sila.
Yes po.
Mm.
Pero ang gusto ko rin pong i-stress dito ay yung position po na ibinigay namin, while I agree and I believe that we should be under one industry. Lahat po iisa lang gusto natin. Whether masunod po yung position namin or not, gusto rin po namin talagang ibahagi yun dahil yun po ang feedback ng aming members. Yun po ang ginawa namin through proper consultation with them at yun po yung resulta ng mga na-experience nila currently on the ground. Dahil very peculiar po yung ating industriya, marami pong nagbabago every week, every day. Kaya ito po yung basis ng aming position na ibinibigay ngayon. But of course, we agree na talagang dapat naman under one industry po tayo. Pero may iba-ibang interest din po kasi ang bawat grupo. And I also want to encourage kasi hindi lang naman po, marami pa pong grupo ang hindi organized, like the makeup artists and many different groups within the whole industry. Kagaya po ng mga exercise na ginawa namin with the IGA, na napakarami makabuluhan ng mga ideas na lumabas para sa development ng buong sector. And we are very much open to collaborate with all the existing groups, again under one intention and goal to unify and to further develop the industry and push it further.
Before you established actor, did you reach out to the other, yung sa CAP, the guild?
Sa totoo lang po, hindi po kami aware na it was really that active in terms of addressing the current needs. Kasi parang ang mga nandun lang po ay yung existing Viber groups, wala pong means of
So walang
members.
contribution.
So hindi naman po sa ganun, pero siguro it's more of kung ano yung pangangailangan ng panahon na yun, especially during the pandemic, yun po yung hinahanap namin. Kaya rin siguro nagkaroon ng ganitong klase.
Okay, you just mentioned earlier that you established that organization during the pandemic.
Just July, June. No, May.
The height of the pandemic.
The height.
Okay.
First.
Siguro mga 1 to 2 months in the.
What have you contributed to the movie workers? Did you have any project with regard to the movie workers? Wala kayong ano? Wala pa.
Mostly po sa within our community of actors po.
Within your community.
Yes
only.
po, yes po. But we are very much in collaboration with Mobile Fund. Meron po kaming mga projects with them with regards to yung mga benefits ng members ng Mobile
Yeah.
Fund. So may mga ganong partnerships din po kami in-establish, and that's why we reiterate that we are open to partnering with like-minded groups, again with the intention of unifying the industry.
Did they reach out to you? Yung CAP?
Hindi
Because
po.
according to Madam Imelda Papin, they were trying to reach out daw sa inyong group. But you
Personally, I have not received any invitation. But definitely, we are very much willing to
But do you think
talk to them.
magkakaisa kayo?
Definitely,
sa layunin natin
yun
ito.
naman po dapat.
Yeah. Direct Carlitos, you were raising your hand.
Mr. Chair. I think regarding the concern ng Mr. Chair, your concern about yung getting the voices together, I think ako lang, I mean, I don't think we have to worry about it kasi we can all get together on things that we all agree on the bill, even if we're from different groups. And as far as kung about yung nabanggit lang about the difference of the groups, no, I will just speak for the DGPI. The origins of the DGPI. Yes, we are a breakaway group from the KDPP, which is a kapisana ng mga direktor ng Pilipino. I'm a founding member of the breakaway group called DGPI. Yes, it is a breakaway.
When was this established?
This is 1994.
GPI 1994 pa?
Yes. And the reason is not because of it was not because matatanda na ang tagat KDPP, because I'm of the same age group as the people who are in KDPP. So matanda rin ako. The reason is because the original reason is because ang concerns principally, and I find that at least in our case, no, we wanted to focus on concerns of, let's say, yung mga education, parang concentrating on getting, like mga certain issues that affect the art and craft of filmmaking, such as mga censorship, mga ganong issues. The Directors Guild at that time, basically, the main concern was welfare issues. And I find, ako personally, I'm not speaking for the DGPI at this point. I just want to make it clear. I think just for this statement, I think that's basically the divide sa tingin ko lang, is that ang FAP is concerned principally about welfare issues, which is great. No, moving welfare issues. We are also concerned about that. But we're concerned about things other than welfare issues. Education, parang development, pushing films, Philippine films locally and abroad. So there are a lot of things that we're concerned with na are not really, which I feel lang, I could be wrong, but I feel are not the priorities of FAP. So that's why meron divide na ganon between the DGP, but we are ready to work with FAP, and we can align and definitely come together on things that we agree on, kahit na we're from different groups. We have I would like to think that we have that mutual respect, but it's not about because matatanda na yung mga taga-FAP. Hindi po yun. Hindi ko alam kung saan ang galing yun. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Carlitos. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the late Res Cortez. Patricia.
Thank you, Chair. I would just like to address also the concern of Mr. Morfe. We do believe that the several guilds that we have under IGA and also under FAP can coexist. We believe that the workers should have the freedom to organize themselves as they see fit. as long as, they find the group that they feel aligns with their beliefs. To provide context also, the IGA was actually formed during the height of the pandemic along with everyone else here. We partnered with PMPPA at that time as well in terms of crafting the protocols, what we believe should be the COVID protocols for the industry working during the time of the pandemic. And I would say that's how we came to life as an umbrella organization of these 14 groups. And to assure also Mr. Morfe, we are willing to align with you on any other concerns or issues for the industry. So we could have a unified industry altogether. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, umpisa na natin yung mga question and answer. Okay, we had two informal discussions and consultations 2 weeks ago and last week. Yes, Ms. Villanueva.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I'm Titi Villanueva from the Theater Actors Guild. Nakapag-present na po ako ng position paper namin last hearing.
Theater and Actors Group.
Theater Actors Guild, sir. Opo. On the topic of joining forces and yung recognize na meron pa pong mga unorganized groups sa industry natin, I would like to read the position paper galing po sa isang grupo ng mga workers from the film and television industry. Hindi pa po sila SEC-registered, pero pakiramdam ko po, importante pong marinig yung kanilang gustong sabihin. Okay po, sir. Basahin ko po.
Is that how many pages?
Bibilisan ko po, sir. Mga 2 and 1/3.
Single line?
Okay, sir. Okay, posisyong papel para sa inihahapag na panukalang batas para sa mga manggagawa ng entertainment industry. Ipinapaabot ng mga manggagawa sa entertainment industry, pangunahin mga manggagawa sa mga produksyon sa telebisyon at pelikula, ang pagbati sa mga senador at mambabata sa paghahapag ng mga isyong kinahaharap namin. Ipinapaabot namin ang taus-pusong pasasalamat sa mga bumuo ng panukalang batas na pinamagatang an act protecting the welfare of workers or independent contractors in the film, television, and radio entertainment industry. Kasama na rin ang iba pang mga bersyon nito na pinaniniwalaan naming magiging susi sa tuloy-tuloy na pagpapasa ng mga batas na magbibigay proteksyon sa aming mga karapatan at kagalingan. Ang mga manggagawa sa telebisyon at pelikula na pangunahing nakasalang sa pinakamahihirap na mga trabaho upang maghatid ng mataas na kalidad na mga produksyon para sa promosyon ng ating lokal na sining at kultura. Kami ay mga gaffer, electrician, lightsmen, cameraman, mga karaniwang crew at staff, art department, setmen, utility, drivers, at iba pa na nasa likod ng mga produksyon. Marami sa amin ay hapong-hapo sa mahigit 24 oras na pagtatrabaho sa tuwing mayroong produksyon. Marami din sa amin, sa kabila ng napakahihirap na kalagayan sa trabaho, ay tumatanggap ng sahod na napakababa kumpara sa oras na aming inilalaan sa pagtatrabaho. Sa kabuuan, ang nakikita naming pinakamalaking usapin sa kinahaharap ng mga manggagawa sa entertainment industry ay ang kawalan ng sustenibong trabaho. Halos lahat, kung hindi man lahat, ay di-regular ang trabaho at lagi may panganib na mawala ng hanap buhay sa kabila ng napakalaking papel namin sa promosyon at papalaganap ng lokal na kulturang Pilipino sa pamamagitan ng mga produksyon ng mga pelikula at palabas sa telebisyon. Madaling akalain na mataas ang sahod dahil aabot sa 1,000 hanggang 3,000 kada araw ang kinikita. Ngunit sa kabilang banda, nasa 3 hanggang 4 na araw kada linggo lamang ang trabaho, na ang katangian ay mahahabang oras ng trabaho na umaabot ng 60 hanggang 24 oras o higit pa bawat araw. Narito pa ang ilang mga punto para mas mailarawan namin ang aming mga kalagayan. Isa, mapanganib na katangian ng pagtatrabaho tulad ng pagbubuhat at operate ng mabibigat na mga equipment para sa set, exposure sa mga high voltage na wires at generators, exposure sa mga hazardous materials na kailangan sa set, na sa kabila nito ay walang hazard pay ang mga staff na nakatoka sa mga ito. Pangalawa, ang freelance na katawagan ay nagpapalabnaw sa relasyong employee-employer. Sa madaling sabi, maliban pa sa kawalan ng katiyakan sa trabaho, hindi rin malinaw ang mga pananagutan dahil hindi definido kung sino ba ang mayor na employer ng mga manggagawa. Pangatlo, samot-saring mga problema sa payslip, kawalan ng overtime at night differential pay. Pang-apat, kawalan ng mga pangunahing serbisyo tulad ng SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth at iba pa. Panglima, diskriminasyon sa iba't ibang antas tulad ng verbal abuse sa mga low-level employees, sa mga kababaihan at LGBTQIA+, at iba pang forma ng abuso. Hinihiling namin na mas maging malinaw ang definisyon ng employer o principal dahil ito ang pangunahing magtatakda ng mas malinaw na pananagutan sa bawat partido. Sa Section 4 ng Definition of Terms, nakikita namin hindi ito malinaw na nakasaad. Sa kabuuan, ang employer o principal ay ang management ng production house at suppliers na siyang pangunahing nagha-hire at nagpapasahod sa mga manggagawa kung kaya't nasa kanila rin ang pananagutan na pangalagaan ang kapakanan ng mga manggagawa tulad ng pagpapasahod ng tama, pagtitiyak ng makataong workplace at pagtitiyak ng mga serbisyo at benepisyo. Ang mga employee naman o sa madaling sabi ay mga stakeholders ng panukalang batas ay ang mga sumusunod. Directors, assistant directors, cinematographers, cameramen and camera operators, assistant cameramen, focus pullers, DIP, script continuity, production designers, setmen and carpenters, art department, art director, drivers, hair and makeup, prosthetics, wardrobe, production assistants, writers, stuntmen, actors and background actors, medics, light crew, gaffers, key grip, editors, colorists, sound recordists, sound designers, boom operators, security officers, utilities, location managers, at lahat ng mga manual laborers at iba pang mga pinapasahod ng mga production houses at suppliers. Ang inisyatiba namin na magpasa ng position paper ay nasa diwa ng pagmamagandang loob at pakikipagtulungan sa lahat ng mga grupo at individual dahil nais naming pagandahin ang kalagayan sa paggawa upang mas makapaghatid ng magagandang palabas at produksyon. Umaasa kaming ang lahat ng mga pagsisikap na ito ay magsisilbi sa interes ng mga manggagawa. Malaking bagay ito hindi lamang para sa aming kapakanan kundi sa kapakanan ng aming mga pamilya. Ang aming trabaho ay naging malaking parte na ng buhay namin dahil dito napaaral namin ang aming mga anak, natustusan ng arawang gasto sa bahay at iba pa. Gagawin namin ang lahat ng aming makakaya sa pangunahin upang maging mabunga ito para sa kapakanan ng mga manggagawa at para sa promosyon ng sining at kultura ng ating bansa. Yun lamang, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, maraming salamat, Madam Ms. Villanueva. Doon sa binanggit mo kanina sa number 3, samot-saring mga problema sa payslip, kawalan overtime at night differential pay. So, itong mga kagrupo mo, hindi sila binabayaran overtime, tsaka, yan, ito yung pagkakaintindi ko, correct?
Opo, sir. Hindi pa.
Kawalan ng mga pangunahing serbisyo tulad ng SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, at iba pa. Paano mo paano mo mabibigyan ng SSS o Pag-ibig o PhilHealth itong mga taong nabanggit mo, hindi naman sila nakakontrata. So how do you do that?
Pakiramdam ko yun din po, sir. Sana yung gusto po nilang mapag-usapan po
Kasi
dito.
usually, based from experience, yung mga crew, minsan nasa production ni Robin, minsan nasa production ko, paano mo mabibigyan ng minsan naglalagari sila. Pag kunwari, isang araw sa akin, tapos lilipat sila sa shooting ni Robin, doon din ulit sila magtatrabaho. So, walang definite na na trabaho. 'Di ba? Kumbaga naglalagari sila. So paano mo mabibigyan ng can you apprise or can you educate this committee kung paano natin mabibigyan yung mga SSS, PhilHealth, itong mga ganito klaseng nagtatrabaho?
I wish I could answer, sir, in a more informed manner. Pero po, sir, ang nakikita ko pong gusto po nilang mapag-usapan po talaga kasi meron po sa kanilang ilang taon na po nagtatrabaho sa mga kumpanya o mga production houses or mga network, pero hindi po sila nagiging regular. Kaya yun nga po, hindi po
These are not regular employees.
O nga po, pero meron po talaga sa kanilang more than 10 years, more than 20
Alright.
years na pong...
Do we have any representative from the SSS or PhilHealth here? SSS? Okay, can you please state for the record the options for the field workers to become members of SSS?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, good morning. Such workers mentioned by Ms. Villanueva are considered self-employed because they are working, earning income, but do not have an employer. So bilang self-employed, kailangan po sana mag-register sila sa SSS bilang self-employed at maghulog ng contributions to SSS bilang self-employed. That's why in our submissions, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, is to add sana a specific provision requiring such workers or independent contractors to register with SSS first before they are engaged by the employer, principal, or producer. Both SSS and the employer, principal, producer, and the self-employed person himself or herself has a role po, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, in registering with SSS and paying contributions accordingly, Mr. Chair.
Maliwanag yun. PhilHealth,
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, it's the same principle. The actors, actresses, and other in the film industry, in the TV industry, they are considered to be independent contractors or self-paying individuals. So they are required to be members of PhilHealth, and they will contribute their own premium contribution to PhilHealth as independent contractors.
Pag-ibig,
Mr. Chair, for Pag-ibig Fund, gano'n din po. Yung pong ating mga kasamahan po doon sa film, movie, television, and radio industry po na hindi po sila formally employed, ay pwede po mag-register po sa Pag-ibig Fund bilang self-employed individuals po. Pag self-employed po kasi po, yung employer-employee counterpart, sila po yung magre-remit po at magre-register. Yung naman pong nasa formal sector, ang kumpanya po, o yung kanyang pinagkatrabuhan, ang siya pong magde-deduct ng employer share at magre-remit ng employer share at sa Pag-ibig Fund po. So covered na po ni Pag-ibig Fund yung mga nasa other working groups po. Included na po yan sa aming implementing rules and regulations ng Pag-ibig Fund po under Rule 5 Section 3G ng RA 9679 po. So kapag po self-employed, sila po yung may obligasyon na mag-deduct and remit sa Pag-ibig Fund po.
maliwanagan lang ako, no? Magre-register sila dito sa PhilHealth, SSS, Pag-ibig. Walang bayad yan, ha?
Wala pa, Mr. Chair.
Libre.
Yes, Mr.
Alright. Thank you. Wala na? So, okay, just to give you a brief background with regard to the consultations and discussions, the two consultations and discussion last week. Kasi medyo informal yun. Ngayon, gagawin natin formal. Okay, during our dialogue with the members of the entertainment industry last September 15, si Mr. Coco Martin mentioned that his production team is currently doing a 12-hour taping day. Kasama na po dito ang oras ng para sa tanghalian, merienda, sa umaga at hapon. Ang sabi po niya, kaya naman po itong gawin at ang kailangan lamang ay disiplina sa pagsunod sa oras. This matter continue to be an important topic, even the second dialogue with the stakeholders. Okay, may we hear for the record the position of our stakeholders regarding this proposal. Gawin lang natin formal to kasi I already got the answers from some stakeholders concerned during our last consultation. Sino pwede sumagot? Kaya raw gawin ni Coco Martin 12-hour taping. And when I asked him if it is applicable to the movies, sabi niya, yes, it is applicable. Kung kaya niya 12 hours, di mas mabuti. But I don't think it might not sit well with the producers. Kita mo, nagtataasan ng kamay si Percy. Percy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Chairman, yes, each production is different, and each setup is different. For instance, in some soap opera productions, they can have 2 to 3 units running at the same time, which maximizes the productivity. But in film, usually it's just 1 unit that's running. So if we have, say, 7 days to finish a film and you only have 12 hours to finish it, that really limits the creative output of your product. We also note that each director, who ultimately is the leader of each production, has different ways of doing things. Some directors really come a lot prepared. Some directors are a bit more on the fly, but the output is still like this, quite good, quite the same. So as producers, we need to give leeway for that. So we cannot restrict everybody to say and just say that, oh, you prepare better and then you finish in 12 hours, because we're not in a manufacturing industry where every product is the same. Each product is different, and there has to be that creative freedom for directors to do their jobs with enough leeway for them, enough buffer for them to change their minds, do something a bit better, spend more time on something. Plus, as we noted in our last discussion, Mr. Chairman, each genre is also different. There are some genres that really require more time. Anything with fantasy, anything with prosthetics takes more time. Anything that's horror, which usually runs at night, which everybody knows, people move a lot slower when you're working late at night. So those things affect the number of working hours. That's why we are espousing that we maintain 16 hours. I think that's a sweet spot for everybody.
16 hours period, according to
Mr. Manny.
Wala na extension.
Our only clarification, and I think this is going to be in the technical working group already, is that we cannot, even if we want to start from the first person on set to the last person on set, we have to consider that if a director has 16 hours of work, there will be people working before the director arrives. So it cannot be counted, because otherwise what will happen is we count from the first person on set and the director is only working for 10 hours na, because there's 6 hours of preparation before the director comes or whatever. So that's why we are espousing that we become a bit more flexible. The goal here is that each person should work a maximum of 16 hours.
Yes. All right. Kada sa kamay.
I was just about to say, to make it clear also, one of the points nga, dito sa pinag-uusapan ngayon, Your Honor, yung working hours, iba-iba sinasabi, are based on call. Pero nung nagsasabi, dapat mag-umpisa raw, yung first scene na kukunan sa'yo, mag-umpisa yung time. Hindi siyang gawin, malibawa sa akin, nangyari niya. Lumabas ako sa isang balabas, kung on call, prosthetic makeup ako. So, 2.5 hours, andun lang ako sa makeup. So, kung din mag-umpisa sa call, I'm not taking the side of the producer. Lagi na yung producer sa akin 2.5 hours dahil mini-makeupan pa lang ako eh. So, mawawala na kagad yung 2.5 hours.
So, kunwari, ang call time mo 6 o'clock in the morning, pag ang pinag-usapan natin 16 hours, so dapat tapos ka na ng 10 in the evening, correct?
Ang ganun po yung in-base sa yung call time.
Yes, ang iba-base sa call time. Ngayon, pag 6 o'clock ka dumating, tapos magpapamakeup ka pa, prosthetic, katulad ng sila mo 2 hours and a half,
Yeah.
so minus yun, ba wala yun.
Lodi na nga yung producer dahil kung sa call yung base yung bilang 16 hours ko, maandar na ako ng 6 o'clock. Kung call ko 6 o'clock, maandar na yung time ko. Kahit na hindi pa ako nakukunan, make-up pa lang ako. Kanya parang one of the details nga na dapat ma-clarify. I mean, should it really be full time or should it be the first scene that
What is the pleasure of the producers? And of course, I will also get the opinion of yung grupo ninyo.
Mr. Chairman, I think we have to discuss this, to be honest, because of course it is advantageous. Thank you very much, Chair Tirso, for pointing that out. Because it would be better for us if it's from roll time, because then we can shoot a lot
Call
more.
time.
Roll from the time that
roll.
camera start rolling. However, we do
Right.
acknowledge that there are individuals whose work starts a lot earlier, as for instance pointed out by location managers. They arrive much earlier than the roll time. The people who pull out the camera equipment work a lot earlier than the roll time. So that's why we think that there's a lot more discussion that should happen when we go into the details. Thank you, Chair.
You want to comment on it? Or the interguild na lang sasagot?
Thank you, Chair. To address the
Balik ka.
concerns on working hours, it usually po kasi sa pelikula, then I don't know po if Mr. Coco Martin specified if the 12 hours he mentioned included the setup and the set down nung shooting nila per day.
Pag-grind ng camera.
Pag-grind. Ang position po ng IGA talaga, ang nalulugi yung below the line, to use the technical term, kasi sila yung nauna sa set. We also recognize the fact na if we consider the per hour time of each crew member, then that would also bloat the budget, so to speak. If we are to allot for shifts in the production set just to maximize then the day for the shooting, but overall hindi rin naman po usually ang nangyayari sa pelikula, as mentioned by Direk Percy. One unit lang talaga usually in any movie set. Kaya to give due recognition to already the efforts of every person once they step onto the location, it is our recommendation na kasama from the first man on set to the last man out. Hindi na nga po namin sinama yung travel time.
Ay, hindi nyo sinama. Alright, so pagdating sa set, pag kunwari call time ng mga artista, 6 o'clock in the morning, syempre maaga yung mga crew doon, mas mauna yung mga crew doon. Syempre yung setup pa. Correct? Pag dumating ang mga crew ng alas 5 ng umaga, kasi 6 o'clock or 1 hour before the call time, so dapat umalis sila ng 10 o'clock, 11. 11 o'clock ng gabi. Tama ba?
Nag-vary po yan kasi most productions, they provide transportation. So yung depende po sa sunduan ng services. But it's usually may house to house. Oo, mga 2 hours before at least yung first man.
Kasi sila pa rin yung huling aalis sa set eh.
Opo, para magligpit.
Kasi babaklas pa sila kung ano babaklas nila ron. So what is your recommendation?
16 po,
16 pa
maximum.
rin, maximum.
So yung flexibility po would be per production na lang how to maximize that 16 hours every day.
Period.
Opo.
No overtime pay.
Yes.
Kahit pakiusapan ng producer, baka pwede additional 2 hours, bigyan ka lang namin ng
Po, as far as IJ is concerned,
Usually, ganyan naman nangyayari. Internal pag-uusap nilang between the producers and yung mga suppliers.
yes,
Yung mga
Chair.
artista, minsan pinakikiusapan yan eh.
Yes, Chair. Opo.
Diba?
I think even 10
Kasi,
suppliers.
halimbawa, naka 16 hours na steer, so si Tirso Cruz. Tapos meron pang isang eksena na hindi pa natatapos. Gusto nang umalis si Tirso Cruz kasi 16 hours na. Tapos pakikiusapan ng producer, baka pwedeng isa eksena pa. Kung mag-walk out yung artista, paano? Dinabitin. Di ba? So, pag nilalagay natin sa batas, 16 hours, at pag umalis pag natapos pag nandun na pag nakapagtrabaho na isang artista na 16 hours, obligado na silang umalis, unless pakiusapan sila ng producer. Meron mga artista ganun, pagka sinabi sa batas, 16 hours, aalis na sila. Regardless kung meron pa silang big scene or whatever.
It's very rare na yung artista po yung pinakamatagal. If anything, they would be the group of people na
yung mga line workers,
Apo.
pag nakapagtrabaho na sila 16 hours, tapos meron pa natitira malaki eksena, pag umalis sila, up na rin shooting.
Opo.
Diba?
Yun po yung recommendation ng IGA.
Hindi, another additional burden sa producers yan dahil kung meron naghihintay na big scene tapos nakapagtrabaho na ng 16 hours, syempre alis na yun, pagod na yung mga tao. Yes.
Good morning po. I'm Ann Monzon, President of Lupon ng Pilipinong Cinematograph po, which is the Cinematographers Guild. Under us po yung lighting and camera department, which constitutes a lot of the workers on set. I hope I can in a way, although they're not organized, I hope I can speak for them as their department head. Kami po yung department heads nila. In the case po na Sir Senator, while mas maaga nga po pinakamaaga po dumarating yung production design, art department. So, by the IGA call of 16 hours only, hard stop, it will count, as we already mentioned earlier, the first person in and the last person out. Whether or not ma-fulfill, it doesn't matter how long any of the other departments work within those 16 hours. Sana po, nasa batas, 16 lang, hard stop for the last person, whoever it is who leaves on set. So, kung ang artista po ay kinailangan lang ng 12 hours, thank you po, pack up na po sila. Pero yung unit po namin na magsiset up pa po, nagsushoot pa po kami minsan ng mga close-up, ng mga kamay, ng mga puno, mga establishing shots. Yung mga tao po namin, and then yung mga tao po ng art department na magsiset down pa po after pa po nung aming technical team, sana po, pasok po lahat, saklaw po dun sa 16 hours and wala na pong negotiations after that. The overtime po sana will be something that is contractually agreed upon on a case-to-case or a per-project basis. Depende po if a person or a unit or whoever is involved in the project wants to set the time at 12 hours or 14 hours and then overtime after that. But all in all, one work day for everybody should stop at 16 hours.
Thank you. Yes, Ding Dong.
Pandagdag lang po. Since we are in the creative industry, sa totoo lang po yung mga performers, mas marami pong oras ang pahinga namin versus yung mga mas maraming tao sa set na literally and figuratively mas mabibigat at mas malalaki ang binubuhat. Kung doon po sa tanong na kung pakiusapan ay papayag ba mag-extend, I am pretty sure papayag at papayag po. Because sabi nga in the industry, because we are in the creative industry, we won't stop until we get the job done. Kaya it is our hope na meron po talagang kahit papaanong framework sa pamamagitan ng batas na ito na pwede nating balikan. Kasi kung sa pakiusapan, sigurado papayag at papayag. Pero kung meron po tayong sinasandalan, at least may basihan po. And
You're talking about yung artista. Papayag at papayag.
Opo, everyone po everyone.
Including those.
Kami po ay papayag, di siyempre lahat po damay-damay na. So gusto po namin yung protection na to, yung 16 hours, kung ano po mang number yon. In fact, wag lang po sanang mabalik sa dating practice. Whatever the committee agrees on is a win for us. Para lang across the board, mula sa first person in or any person part of the crew across the board, whether artista po man or crew or staff, ay maproteksyonan nitong working hours po na ito.
May I know what was the previous practice before?
Iba-iba po. Ay,
Gusto niyo po ba yung best and worst naming lahat? Chair.
Yeah.
I mean, ang max ko po yata ay umabot ng 36 or
36 hours straight?
Yes, palipat-lipat po ng location.
36 hours?
Opo,
Ano ito, TV or shooting?
TV po. Okay.
Senator, non-stop po.
Non-stop po.
Non-stop po din.
Non-stop yun? Hindi, I mean, walang pahinga, walang tulog? Yes.
Ay, Chair.
Yeah.
Ang magiging pahinga noon ay kung halimbawa bumaklas, travel, kasi depende po yun. I think I've experienced that twice or
You're
thrice.
talking 36 hours mga artista. Artista lang.
So yun, ako po yung
Artista 36 hours. What more yung mga crew?
exact.
Mga production designer. Mas matagal yun.
Kaya po yun talaga ang hinihiling namin na ang dating nakagawian ay iiwan na natin sa nakaraan.
Yung 36 hours, isa,
Yes po, Chair.
ang bayad sa inyo isang araw?
Yes po.
Tanginang yan. Sorry. Strike off the record yung
Sir, may huling pandagdag na lang po. Totoo po yan, may mga ganong realities po on the ground. Pero, ba tayo? Pero ito pong mga pinopropose namin ay base sa mga best practices. Dahil napatunayan po na it is possible na kung ganito po ang ating window ay merong decent amount of creative output for as long as efficient po ang lahat at nagkakasundo. Yung sinabi po ni Mr. Coco Martin, totoo po yan, na posible po yan, at maganda pa rin ang kinalalabasan. Everybody is safe and happy across the board. Even the 16 hours has basis na it has been done. In fact, nung pandemic po, mas naging very strict po ang lahat. At nagkaroon din naman po ng mga magagandang output. Although, syempre, pag mas hinabaan pa natin yan, mas marami pa po tayo magagawa. So again, ang point ko lang po, yung these recommendations are based on the best practices na pwede po siyang mangyari kahit na may mga limitasyon pong ganito.
Thank you, Ding Dong. Rest assured, itong 36 hours hindi mangyayari under this bill. No? If we have this, if this law will be, if this bill will be enacted into law, siguraduhin natin walang ganyan na mangyayari. Katulad ng sinabi ni Isa, yung nakaraan, iwanan na natin sa nakaraan. Yes, Direct.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think yung kasi, yung 16 hours that is being considered, yun yung nga hard stop yan, maximum. Wala nang overtime that's being considered in that proposal beyond the 16. The only overtime that's being considered, at least sa IGA, majority proposal is overtime between 14 hours and 16. Pero beyond 16, hard stop na yun. Tigil lahat. Kahit anong, that's the proposal kasi nga that's the way to balance it kasi para workers' welfare at the same time magandang magawa yung pelikula. At the same time, there's matapos ng producer in enough shooting days na hindi naman siya malulugi. So we're trying to balance everything with that 16 hours. Thank you.
Thank you, Direk. Yung sinasabi mong 36 hours, kasi I'm really bothered.
Chair, yes.
Pag 36 hours straight nagtatrabaho, iba na ang mukha mo nun Haggard na. Iba na reaction mo sa pag-arte.
Gusto niyo
Hindi ka na maganda nun. Medyo maganda ka pa naman. Pero pagdating ng 36 hours na walang tulog, tapos sa arte ka, crying scene or whatever, maapektuhan din yung...
Apo, gusto niyo pong magbigay po ako ng isang hemplo. Hindi ko na po sasabihin kung anong
production?
itago sa pangalang sa
Production na yan
Personally lang po, nangyari po ito. Pagtatapos po ng isang serye namin, pagod na po kaming lahat. Umabot po kami noon ng next day na, parang second day, magto 2 days straight kami noon. Ang tulog na po namin sa set. 9 a.m. po, hindi pa tapos yung first day namin. Nakunan po ang eksena. Hanggang sa natapos, Nung nag-edit na po ang direktor, tumawag sa akin, Isadora, natutulog ka sa eksena. Sabi niya, nakunan po, inaantok po ako, gumaganito po ako. Wala pong nakakita. Assistant director, cameraman, director, nobody saw it, makeup artist. Because everybody was sleepy. Everybody was no longer in the right frame of mind. Everyone was tired. Ako, it looked funny. Pero sa totoo po, hindi nakakatawa. Kasi po, kalusugan nating lahat yon. Kaya po tayo nandito. Dahil what is at stake, it is really our health. And while we're young, we can take it. But the older we get, the less money sometimes we are given. Oh, may nagre-react po, sorry. It's true.
I agree.
Whether it is on the body. So, yun po, kaya po tayo nandito. So, yun po, tama po yung sinabi nyo. Hindi lang po sa hindi maganda. I mean, that is the least of my concerns kapag walang tulog. Yun po ay, am I still functioning as a basic human being? Nakatulog po ako sa isang eksena nang hindi ko alam at hindi nakita ng ibang tao sa paligid ko. Yun lang po.
Mas mahal pa yung hospitalization expenses mo kaysa sa bayad sa'yo.
Yes po. Actually po, nung nagka-COVID din ako, nung March 2020, I was admittedly working on 3 different sets, but it was from a lack of sleep. At kaya po, alam ko po na malaki ang lack of sleep, malaki po ang tama sa immune system.
And I think the producers are well aware of it dahil marami ng casualties sa film industry. Marami na tayong mga direktor, mga ibang mga crew, artista na namatay dahil nga because of overwork and overfatigue dito sa ating industriya. Yes, yes.
Good morning. Anyway, matagal nang usapin ito. And I think doon na dito at naglabas na sila ng department order. According to study, yung efficiency ng performance or ng trabaho ng isang worker ay hanggang 12 oras lang. Pero dahil nga ang batas natin, ang 8 hours constitute today, pero dahil naiiba yung industriya natin, kaya pwede tayo magtrabaho hanggang 12 oras. Okay. Nakalagay sa department order na dahil nga may namatay, example, Steven Daramas. At dahil doon, nag-set na talaga sila, merong department ang dole na nag-aaral dahil sa kalusugan natin. At kaya ang usapin na hanggang 16 hours maximum ang pwedeng itrabaho pero wag naman lalampas doon dahil sabi nga ng dole, akala ko ba health ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, nag-set naman ang yung House version, yung House Bill number 1270 na ang working hours ay 8 to 12 but you can work na may overtime pay hanggang 16 hours. Yun ang maximum. Kaya base doon sa pag-aaral ng dole at meron ng nakasulat yan, merong department order na doon nakalagay yung health and safety standards na dapat natin sundan. Ang position ko naman, as I've said during the last session at nung sa mga private consultation natin, na i-adapt na lang natin yung House Bill number 1270. At yung position ng mga producers na pwede silang hanggang 16 hours ay masusunod pa rin naman. Kasi yung 12 hours ay hindi kasama doon yung meal time. So lumalabas magiging 14 hours din. At kung isasama mo yung egress, ingress, egress, aabot din ng 16 hours. So, para sa akin, mag-stick na lang tayo doon sa House version dahil win-win solution yon. Masusunod yung gusto ng producer at yung gusto ng mga workers. At ang isa pa, yung sekreto kasi, Mr. Chair, dapat yung kukunin ng mga producers, yung mga workers na marunong mag-pre-prod, hindi kayo nagsasayang ng oras sa set. Para pagdating, i-schedule ka kung kailan ka kailangan. Para hindi na kayo magbayad ng overtime. So, at ang working time applies to everybody. Hindi lang para sa artista.
Yes.
At Mr. Chair, for your information, minsan yung ibang nating mga artista ay nakatali sa isang kontrata, sa isang network na pinirmahan nila na kahit na umabot ng 18 hours ang trabaho, hindi sila dapat magreklamo kasi nakalagay sa kontrata nila. So, pag maging batas itong working hours natin, ay mapapawalang bisa yung kontrata nila because it will go against the law of the land. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for your insights. The chair will not adopt the House version of this bill. Maybe some provisions, but not in toto. Okay, because we will still have a technical working group before I submit my committee report to the plenary. As you were raising your hand.
Hello, Mr. Chair and Senators. Sorry, hindi kami nakapag-intro kanina kasi parang marami dito sa inyo na hindi nakakapag-recognize sa group namin. Ang nakapag-mention lang actually sa amin is si Direct Cignal and si Direct Percy. Even kanina si Miss Carla. Si Miss Tin, hindi kami na-mention. We are the production managers and location managers of film, TV. Yung iba dito, kasama namin ngayon, solid group namin ng location managers and production managers. Often, hindi kami kasi recognize sa trabaho kung gagalawan namin. So, kami ang stand namin, okay na kami sa actually nung una 14 hours. Okay na kami sa 16 hours. As I've said dun sa forum, kasi kami yung pinakakawawa dito. Mali po yung sinabi ng production managers at production designers at art net ang nauna. Kami po ang nauna. Sa kamalasan, kami yung pinakamas nagtatrabaho bago mag-uwi ang pelikula. Kasi pag sinabi sa amin mag-location hunting na kami, at mahirap ang mga locations, may mga times na isang buwan or 2 linggo. Kung maswerte ka sa mapupuntahan ng director, project, mas madali kang makakatapos eh. Pero para sa kaalaman ng dollar at ng producers, hindi po kami bayad doon. So kung sinasabi, katulad ng isang production, nagtrabaho ko ng 1 month, puro out of town kami, yung 5 hindi ako binayaran. Wala kaming laban eh. Wala kaming contract kasi freelancer kami. So, mali yung sinasabi niya na sila yung nauuna. Kami, kasabay namin ng tent, nauuna kami sa generator. Kasi pag sinasama from technical eh, sana, diba parang hindi naman kami 3 hours advance, 2 hours advance, during pre-prod, may sasama na each department. Kasi ang role lang para doon ka ng ituro sa tent boss kung magsa-set up, ituro sa Janet kung saan magpa-park. Wala ba silang common sense? Kaya lang diba kasi, sagot namin ng location eh. Sagot namin ng safety. Diba pag naghahanap ka ng location, hindi lang basta makakita kami ng bahay eh. I-consider namin yung logistics, yung safety, yung parking, hahanap kami ng nearest hospital, ng police station, i-consider mo pa yung budget. So, hindi lang ganun kadali. Hindi pag sinabi ng director na ganun pa ng mensyon, hindi lang tayo isa lang kakatapin namin eh. 10, 20. Pag ma-arte director mo, 10 lang ang ano. Di ba? Wala ka ng oras. Even sa location hunting, we will start at 5 a.m. para mas madami kami ikutin. Makakauwi kami 10, 11 hanggat kayang may kuna na location. So talagang parang dito lang, feel namin nakawawa kami kasi kami talaga yung nag-violate sa time. So, kung nag-agree at gagawing batas yung Eddie Garcia, okay na kami sa 16. Basta ng 16, pag umalis na lahat, alis na din kami. Kasi kami tulog eh. Tapos yung yung budget namin, parang bata pa kami parang nagdagdag 10,000. So kami, tsaka kami, freelance kami. The rest ng kasama namin, taga-network. So we're also protecting them. Ang lang ng freelancer, mas konting increase sa talent fee para wala kaming mga benefits katulad nila. So yung kaninang na-mention sa pag-ibig and tama naman sila sir eh. Kumukuha kami ng self-employed. Hindi namin na yun, kasi thankful din naman kami sa producers eh. If not for the producers, wala kaming kabuhayan. So pag dinakalan na kami, may kabuhayan kami. So hindi na namin i-demand sa producers na dapat meron kaming SSS. Kasi nga after 7 days, iba na naman ang katrabaho namin. So I understand that. Kasi choice namin maging freelance. Ang benefits na nakataga network, meron silang benefits. Pero nakastock sila sa ganong sweldo. Tapos Mr. Chair, kasi nanood ako ng hearing nung last time, na-mention din dito yung pagkain. Kami, hindi lang kami bayad sa location hunting. May tumatanggap na ang meals 65 pesos, 85 pesos, hanggang 100. Saan kami kukain? Sa karinderya? Pati yun, pagka malayo ng location, pati yung karinderya na ganun lang ang halaga, kailangan mo hanapin. Tapos hahanap pa ka ng resibo. Pero pagkasama namin ng mga boss, ang director, they can spend until up to 8,000 for the meals. While us, na laging nagbibiyahe, by land, by boat, by plane man yan, wala, ganun pa rin. Gaano man kalayo yung marating namin, pagkain namin, swerte ka na sa 150. Yan lang, ako nag-a-agree ako sa lahat na 14 hours, 16 hours max. Kasi let's face it, nagkakaroon naman ng internal na usapan eh. Dahil makikisama ka, pag sinabing alam mo rin naman yung side ng producer na yung ginagastos nila, di ba? O pwede ba ako naman yung onesie? Pero kasi kami talaga yung sa time. Dahil nga 2 hours before, para lang i-set up lahat ng parking ng tent. Kasabay namin dumadating ng Janet. Minsan nauuna pa kami. Yun lang po, sana mabigyan din kami ng recognition na bilang mga LMPM na malaki na ang hirap namin sa pagbuo ng pelikula at soap opera. Salamat po.
Thank you. Thank you, Nalisa. I understand your predicament. And I think the representatives of the Producers Guild are listening intently. And one thing I am concerned of is the food, yung binanggit mong pagkain. Siguro naman sana kung ano yung kain ng artista sa set, sana yun din ang pagkain ng mga maliliit na tao na nagtatrabaho sa set. Kasi when I crafted this kasambahay law, kung ano yung kinakain namin, yun din ang kinakain ng aming makasambahay. Sana gawin din dito sa industriya natin. Kasi hindi mga aso yan, tao rin yan, hindi mga hayop yan. Although mas mababa pa nga sweldo nila, dapat nga mas pakainin natin, mas masarap dahil mas matagal pa sila nagtatrabaho kaysa sa mga artista. Yung mga artista, maraming pera yan, pwede sila bumili sa mga restaurant, pero yung mga nasa crew, yung mga production design, etc. Sana kung ano yung kinakain ng mga bida, ng mga artista, hindi na pakain natin sa kanila. Okay. Yes, you were raising your hand.
Ayun po, Mr. Chair, sorry po, hindi po namin napakilala yung grupo namin kanina, hindi po kami nakapag-opening remarks. Pero sasabihin po sana namin kanina, lahat ng scope of work namin sa paggawa ng pelikula man or television. Bilang nabanggit na rin po ni Neri yung iba, sa amin din po ang responsibilidad ng pagkuha ng mga permits para sa kaalaman po at kabatiran ng lahat ng nandito. Sa amin po yung pagkuha ng permits sa barangay, sa homeowners at sa mga city hall. Sa amin din po yung iba't ibang requirements ng produksyon. Gaya po ng paghahanap ng mga kotse, sasakyan na ginagamit ng mga artista, ng kanilang mga alagang hayop, aso, pusa, kalabaw, baka, ahas. Sa amin din po yung nakatoka. Sa amin din po nakatoka ang mga sinisisi ng mga maiingay during the set, pang mga maiingay na naririnig, sa amin po yan. Sa amin din po bumabagsak ang kadalasang galit ng mga kapitbahay dahil during their celebration, pinapatigil po namin sila sa kanilang pagbibidyoke. Sa amin din po ang bagsak ng reklamo ng mga kapitbahay na nagre-reklamo dahil po maingay during takes at yung mga naglulupit po ng gamit o nagsiset up po ng gamit.
Wala bang tanod dyan? Di ba meron tanod nung nagta-traffic dyan?
Meron po. Kaya lang po kasi, may permit naman po kami sa barangay. Kaya lang po kami po talaga.
Sa mga tanod eh.
Yes po. Kaalalay po namin sila, pero kasi pag sila po yung tinawag, kami pa rin po yung nabaharap. So, nagpapaliwanag po kami ng dispensa na pasensya na po kayo, ganito, ganyan. So, sa amin din po yun.
Chair, yung worst kasi doon, namumura din kami ng director. Kasi even yung ingay ng aso, sorry Direk Percy kasi nakatrabaho din si Direk Percy. Hindi ka, I'm not referring to you, Direk. Hindi, syempre, I respect din the directors na nakatrabaho ko rin. Marami naman na akong naikutan na networks. Pero kasi di ba, Direk, lahat naman kasi sa location talaga, yung mga naglalasingan dyan, nagbi-video kay asong tumatahol, mga naglalarong bata, lahat yun, saklaw ng namin. So, kaya kami nandito, thankful kami na na-invite kami kasi it's about time na marinig kami. Kasi hindi alam ng lahat, kala nila, laki ng sweldo namin, location manager, production manager. Pag sinuha-datal mo yung paghahanap ng location, baka wala pa kami 500 sa isang araw. Thank you po, Chair.
Thank you, Neri. All right. Okay, last Saturday, meron nag-mention yung mga talents. Meron bang representative na agency dito sa talents? Wala.
Wala po.
Villanueva, di ba yan?
Hindi. Walang representative. Kasi meron silang nirereklamo yung consultation last Saturday. Kasi yung tinatanggap ng talent from 600 to 900 lang because of subcontracting. Wala bang representative ng mga talents dito? Wala. Inimbita ba, Comsec? Hindi niya inimbita? Hindi na imbitahan? Okay. Okay, do we get a consensus among all the stakeholders concerned that the workers should be provided by the employers or the producers with insurance that will cover the costs of work-related injury, disability, accident, or death? Is it correct that the proposed bill will not entail additional costs to employers or producers as far as this benefit is concerned because it is currently being provided to the workers? Your comments, please. Any comment? Producer.
Chair, yes, we are amenable to that. We put it in our position paper that we are willing to, we are already, actually, some of us are already providing. But yes, work-related.
What kind of insurance?
Work-related insurance, Mr. Chairman, that covers accidents, death, disability.
This is per project.
This is per project.
Per project,
Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Kota ka na.
Pasensya na po. At meron lang akong idadagdag kasi yung sa insurance, meron ng pa-practice nun pero hindi lahat. So sana dito sa Eddie Garcia bill, lahat ng nasa set covered ng insurance. At dahil nga Eddie Garcia, na-aksidente si Eddie Garcia sa set, so dapat kasama na rin na merong health team na nasa set all time at merong ambulance na nakasanda.
That's what we discussed during the last consultation, and we will incorporate this in this proposed bill.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Insurance, yung medic, etc., etc.
In safety officer.
Yes. Yung safety officer, meron naman yata, no? Every time na mag-shooting, mag-taping, meron ng...
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Meron na naka-assign doon?
Yes, we already followed it already.
All right.
In the DOLE guidelines now.
Oh, mas...
Yeah, we applied it.
Sorry. Mr. Chair, may request yung Department ng Location Managers that we also get insurance before we do location hunting. Kasi anything can happen eh. Dahil the whole day, wag lang sana pag nag-start na yung project. Kasi kawawa naman kami pag kami yung na-aksidente.
Respond.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, yes, it's when we say per project, it's from the start of the project, not from the start of the taping of the shoot.
Including yung sa
yes,
sa mga location.
because honestly, it is our problem because they go around. So if there's even an accident, it becomes our responsibility as well. So we want the insurance coverage to start from the moment the project is greenlit, which means that from the moment that the location managers start looking for the locations.
Thank you. Thank you po. Thank you po. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Please, we achieve something. May representative from GMA7 or ABS? GMA7?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair. Attorney O'Seven.
Ano lang yung nangyari kay Eddie Garcia, was it a minor accident or a major accident?
As far, of course, sa history po ng safety ng company namin.
No, just answer me. Was it a minor or major accident?
Of course, it's a major accident.
Major accident dahil si Eddie Garcia yun. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ang nangyari kay Tito Eddie, natisod lang eh. Dahil because maraming mga kable. But that's considered as a minor accident. Kasi pag sa crew lang nangyari yon, minor lang yon. Dahil si Eddie Garcia ang natisod, eventually namatay, naging major accident. Tama?
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, hindi po that is not how we operate, Mr. Chair. In fact, Mr. Chair, it is unfortunate that in the long history of GMA si Manoy lang po ang talagang death na nangyari sa set po ng GMA. So we're really pero we have to say for the record, Mr. Chair, that kung kahit sino po na miyembro ng crew yun, of course, we will attend to him, we will bring him to the hospital.
The reason why I said that it was a minor accident, kasi siguro kasalanan din ng mga ibang kuya na bakit kasi nakalawit itong mga kable dun sa daanan ng eksena, no? Kasi for me, that was a really minor accident that turned into a major accident because the one involved is Eddie Garcia. Kasi kung ordinaryong tao lang, hindi si Eddie Garcia lang yan, hindi si Eddie Garcia yan, hindi mo mapapansin eh. Hindi may headline yan eh. Correct? Am I correct? Di ba? So siguro, hindi lang man sa GMA7, siguro sa lahat ng ating mga producers, siguro pag-ingatan din yung mga dadaanan eksena ng mga artista, kahit yung mga crew. Alright, are there any other inputs that you want to share before this committee, yes, Percy?
Mr. Chairman, we just want to note that we do recognize all the input of all the guilds, and we still stand by our position that we hope that there will be a technical working group where we can iron out all the details, because as the other producers have pointed out, we haven't even considered smaller, I guess, complications to our workflow. Like, for instance, the truck ban that prevents us from bringing production equipment and production design props to the set. So that's actually a major consideration when we start compute the time, no? Because the trucks can only travel at a certain time. So that means that the 16 hours, if we count it from the first person, then it's already dictated by when the trucks arrive. And then there's also rain, which, as you know, is a more unpredictable thing. So I think, Mr. Chairman, to appease everybody, we are very open to hearing out all of the input, and we do recognize that ultimately the goal is for the health and safety of everybody.
Yes, thank you, Director Percy. After this hearing, I will instruct the committee to listen to a technical working group before I submit my committee report. Ibarra, GMA7 mentioned that the Garcia bill is a class legislation. Is it true?
We actually, Mr. Chair, our concern, of course, for the record, Your Honor, we support initiatives to protect workers. Just for the information of all, 2 days ago we celebrated the 97th anniversary of the 8-hour working day. Alam po na lahat ng estudyante ng labor law dito that ang first attempt to have yung pong working hours started 97 years ago when a man called Henry Ford in-institute niya sa pabrika niya na 8 hours lang po ang work, and after that yung legislation came, meaning nauna po ang practice. So our concern, of course, Mr. Chair, with some provisions of the legislations proposed here is that gusto po namin yung we do support the good intentions of legislation na pagbutihin po yung kalagayan ng workers in the entertainment and the media industry. Pero po ang concern namin sana po ay hindi matibag yung batas dahil it could be struck down later as class legislation applicable only to a particular sector and alam po naman natin na the Constitution, ang ating saligang batas po, will baka po kasi makita later on ma-challenge sa korte yung certain provisions of law natin, lalo na kung hindi siya malinaw o ano po siya, applicable only siya sa ilang sektor. Kaya nga po, we're willing to help hand in hand with both committees para igingin po na yung batas na ipapasa natin ay mainam at hindi po matcha-challenge sa korte.
Okay. Dole, any representative from the Department of Labor? Answer. Is this a class legislation or not?
May mga concern din, Mr. Chair, yung Department of Labor and Employment sa identification po ng coverage of the law. Ang proposal po sana namin ay i-expand it further para po makover yung other players within the creative industry and creative and entertainment industry para po masako po lahat ng stakeholders po within the industry. In its present language, Mr. Chair, we are seeing po na may color ng it goes against yung equal protection clause of the Constitution, but it's not hindi naman po yun na sasabihin namin na nag-violate, but it can be cured po by expanding po the coverage of the proposed legislation.
Can you give give a position paper with regard to the class legislation issue?
We will submit, Mr. Chair.
How many days?
Uh, Next week, Mr. Chair, we can already
Next week.
submit.
All right. For the information of everybody here present, today is our last day before we go into recess. Okay, Congress is on its last day before we go into recess. So 1 month kami mawawala dito sa Senado, but still, I will forward this issue, this proposed bill sa technical working group. So itong buwan na October, kailangan pagtrabahuin pa rin itong bill na ito so we can come up with a win-win situation for all stakeholders concerned. Kasi I do not want to fail here. Once I fail here or we all fail here, okay? And I suggest that all you guys, all the stakeholders concerned, get their acts together, unite with each other. Sana magkapareho tayo ng layunin para tulungan natin itong ating industriya. Sa akin palagay, kung di pa namatay si Tito Eddie, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng ganitong klaseng bill. Hindi natin mapapag-usapan yung kapakanan o welfare ng movie workers dito sa ating industriya. Because alam mo, mahalaga sa amin, lalo sa amin ni Senator Robin, Senator Lito, Senator Bong, itong industriya na to. Because this is the industry where we started. Hindi kami magiging senador siguro kung hindi dahil sa industriya to. Kaya masyadong mahalaga at malapit sa puso namin itong industriya to. Sabi ko nga dito sa akin mga kasamahan, sila Robin, si Lito, tsaka si Bong, Senator Bong, sabi ko, apat na kami artista rito, kailangan gumawa tayo ng paraan para ma-uplift yung welfare and rights ng mga movie workers dito sa ating industriya. So, are there any other inputs that you want to...
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Yeah. Sino ba? Direct.
Ang concern din namin lang sa DGPI kasi some of our filmmakers are documentary filmmakers, no? And this also goes into the issues that have been raised about coverage of the law. Yung bang we're just concerned na our position is that sana yung safety, medical safety requirement, etc. Not be made necessary for documentary shoots or back shoots that go on to covering special events that where the situation is not totally within the filmmaker's control, such as covering a Black Nazarene procession, halimbawa, or some natural phenomenon like a vulkan ng taal or something, mga ganung yung pumuputok. So what we are requesting is to rethink that requirement as it applies to documentary shoots or backpack shoots na mga nagsushoot ng B-rolls, just so it is not because not everything in the content that is being covered is within the control of it is basically a coverage. It's not making an event, it's covering something that is beyond the filmmaker's control. That's one. No? The other thing then, Mr. Chair, is we would suggest lang, we recommend removing student films from the coverage of this law and leave the universities and colleges and schools that teach film or television or whatever to come up with their own policies. Kasi the budgets definitely necessarily of the student filmmakers are much lower than commercial filmmaking, which is what is the naman at saka commercial television to commercial media making, that is basically what we're discussing here. So yung student filmmakers sana are taken out of the coverage of this law. So those two things lang.
Okay, thank you. Before that, nakalimutan ko i-discuss sa inyo yung tungkol sa mga senior citizens na mga artista. Are they still covered with these 16-hour working hours? Kasi meron tayong batas doon. Am I correct? Na ilang hours yung senior citizen na pwede magtrabaho?
Mr. Chair, it's 8 hours for senior citizens and 4 hours for children. We're following
4 hours. So 8 hours maximum sa senior
senior
citizen.
citizens.
Eh, paano si Tirso Cruz pagka ano? Hindi ka. Hindi nga.
Thank you,
Kung
Mr.
8
Chair.
hours siya. Hindi.
Mr. Chair.
I'm also a member of the, senior na rin ako. Kunwari, ako may pelikula ako.
Director.
Ano susundin ko? Yung 8 hours o 16 hours?
Actually, that is a problem for us also kasi
Oh.
it's not the actors, also the directors too.
O paano?
Our senior citizens.
Kaya ano susundin natin? Yung 8 hours under the law o 16 hours na pinropose natin? Oh,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, kami we discussed this sa amin 12 hours for senior citizens pero if the senior citizen writes a waiver then he can go then he should be allowed to work between 12 and 16 hours maximum.
the children, 4 hours?
Sa children,
Why not?
yeah. Let's just stick to the dole sa children. Merong dole 4 hours yata sa children.
Ano ba natin? Dolo?
There is an existing law, Mr. Chair, on working hours of children. For those under 15, hours po maximum of 20. For 15 to 18, maximum of 40, but 8 hours per day.
Alright. Yes.
Yun lang yun. Yung mga senior citizen, pwede sila magtrabaho more than 8 hours basta magsasign sila ng waiver.
Every time na nasa set, magsasign ng waiver? Ganon? Kasi if we, kunwari, nasa batas na maximum of 16 hours, ang trabaho, director, artista, mga senior citizen, ano nga susundin natin?
Mr. Chairman,
Possible yung nasa batas na 8 hours.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, kailangan kasi nakalagay dun sa House version, magkikreate ng tripartite na mag-discuss dun sa mga detalye. So I also expect yung Senate version dapat magkaroon din ng kailangan mag-create ng tripartite council to discuss the details of all yung batas na naipasa.
Isn't it possible for us to discuss it right now? Why are we going to put under the law the tripartite council? Doon pa lang di-discuss na anong mangyayari sa mga senior citizen kung ilang oras sila magtatrabaho. I don't get that logic.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Through my experience from the past, kasi talaga matagal na ako, ang mga ibang senior citizen talaga nagsaset po sila ng time limit nila regardless of how long. By 12 midnight, I'll go home, finish or not finish. Meron po silang gano'n. But, yung po sa tinatanong nila for senior citizen, in one of the, I think the discussion that I attended, ang ibig sabihin po ng 8 hours nila, correct me if I'm wrong, the 8 hours of work nila is encompassed to the 12 hours regulation. Meaning kung 8 hours po, yung working limit talaga nila. Hindi po, you don't consider them under the 16 hours or the 14 hours. Kung sa 12 hours of work of acting people, 8 lang sila. So, dapat po yun nakapaloob dun sa number of hours na yun.
People.
Yes, gusto ko lang clarify as we have all talked about it. We have a very peculiar industry kasi ibang klase yung itatrabaho natin. And I guess with all due respect sa Dole, yung 8 hours is referred to yung mga pumapasok sa opisina on a daily basis. Kasi tayo, hindi nga kami pumapasok sa opisina, but the demands of a shoot of a movie or a serye, bago nag-iiba yung conditions, working conditions, nag-iiba yung mga eksena kukunan. Kuminsan, merong mga heavy scenes na kinukunan, heavy physically, kuminsan heavy emotionally. So, kaya yung sinasabing mahirap sa 8 hours na as compared to regular worker, pag ikinumpare mo yung taga-pelikula, because sabi nga, I think everybody na taga-pelikula will say talaga na kakaiba yung industry natin and you cannot compare it to any other regular work.
Yes, as I've said before, ours is a unique industry, and sometimes we cannot just follow the provisions under the Labor Code of the Philippines. That's why I am suggesting or requesting our representative from the DOLE to submit a position paper with regard to the workers, the plight of the workers of the movie industry. Yes, Miss Villanueva.
Yes, so with regard on the topic of yung child actors, syempre na meron po yung sa DOLE na dapat maximum number of hours, 4 hours lang po yung magtatrabaho ang mga bata. Pero sa teatro, sinusunod po namin yun ng 4 hours lang po yung pagtatrabaho ng mga bata. Pero I think it's a widely known fact na kapag sa pelikula, telebisyon, may tendency po talaga na more than 4 hours ang pagtatrabaho ng mga bata. And syempre, yung mga bata, hindi naman po sila makakareklamo kasi hindi naman po nila alam na dapat 4 hours lang pala ako magtatrabaho. And syempre, nasa mga magulang na din po yan na syempre sila yung kinakausap po ng mga nakatataas na, mami, pwede pa po ba tayo mag-extend ng kasi meron pa po. So, syempre si mami, gusto niyang bigyan ng pagkakataon yung anak niya na, baka ito na yung pagkakataon niya na magtuloy-tuloy, maging artista. Kaya, papayag at papayag lang din po talaga sila mami. Tapos, syempre po, titingnan natin, syempre ipaprioritize din po talaga yung pagkukuha sa mga bata na papayag yan, na more than 4 hours yung trabaho, hindi natin kailangan problemahin. So, yun din po siguro yung kailangan nating tingnan as hindi po talaga nasusunod yung 4 hours ng DOLE sa industriyang ito. Ayun lang po.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yun lang sa seniors ulit. We're just concerned kasi na syempre ang talagang recommendation namin is to kasi naman meron namang required na safety medical people on the set. Merong maximum of 16 hours and then seniors are adults. They're speaking for themselves. They're not children. I mean, say they so if they feel that they have they are fit enough to work beyond, let's say, 12 hours and then they sign a waiver, our suggestion is to honor that waiver and let them work up to a maximum of that they choose to work, which is a maximum of 16 hours hard stop. At saka naman yan, so kasama na rin, yun ang recommendation namin talaga because otherwise it could also be discriminatory to the seniors who are willing to work and who feel that they are fit enough to work up to 16 hours if necessary, maximum 16. So with waiver. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Yes, you are Carlo Macedo po from the Cignal of the Philippines. Oh,
Lapid. In line with that thinking, kasi mape-prejudice po yung mga tao hindi po pipirma ng waiver. So, the bill might not be effective in that case. So, hindi na po yung effectivity kung lahat ng tao papapirmahin. Mapupuyat din po talaga yung mga senior citizens.
We're talking only about the senior citizens.
Yung senior citizens nga po na pinipirma ng waiver. Baka ma-prejudice nga po like what Direct Manila said. Sige po.
Okay.
Prejudice. In fact, what I mentioned was it would be discriminatory to the seniors who are willing to work up to 16 hours if they cannot even sign a waiver. So our suggestion is to allow seniors to work up to 16 hours or any number of hours they want, basta 16 ang maximum, so long as they sign a waiver. Thank you.
Thank you. Ganun din yung position ni Res, no? Pagpirme ng waiver, yung mga senior citizen. Ano ito? Every time na mag-shooting or mag-taping, kailangan pumirma ang mga senior citizen if they allow themselves to work for 18 hours? Is my understanding
Well,
correct?
kung yun ang nasa
Or
we have to
isang project na lang, isang perma, isang project?
I think
Attorney Georgie.
Mr. Chair, I just want to correct the misconception of the use waiver. I think it should be an inherent part of the contract, because when you say it's a waiver, you can only waive something that has already happened. You cannot waive future rights. So in that kind of a scenario, the person who signed a waiver, who supposedly gave up future rights, can still actually run after the producers. So it must be part and parcel of the contract itself, not a waiver.
Maybe you can stipulate that in the contract. Am I correct?
Yes po. Yes po.
Especially sa mga senior citizens.
Yes po.
All right. That would be a better idea, Attorney. Thank you for your inputs. Oh, Mrs.
Answer ko lang po kasi sinabi kong prejudice kasi it will bear fruit kapag hindi pumipirma ng waiver yung isang senior na actor, baka hindi siya kunin, may fear of cancellation. So yun lang po yung discriminatory act, which is the prejudice nga to those people who agree and were working more than 8 hours. Thank you po.
Okay, any other? Before I adjourn this hearing? So we still have to attend to another hearing. Yes, please identify.
Your Honor, good morning. Attorney Emir Mendoza from the UP Law Workers and Employees Program. UP Law Center, sir.
Yeah.
Your Honor. With the discussions on the hours of work, may we just add that as we stated in our proposition paper, that overtime pay be granted for work after the hour. So whatever
After the 8 hours?
after the 8 hours. So if
After the 8 hours work, after the 8 working hours?
yes, Your Honor. So by R9 or R10, whatever the extension would be 14, 16, submission is
As I mentioned earlier, the movie industry is a unique industry. Wala kaming opisina rito. Wala kaming pinagre-reportan dito. Wala kaming amo rito. That's why I don't think that will sit well with the producers. May I get your comments with regard to the statement of attorney?
No, you're right, Mr. Chair, and with all due respect, we also talking about rates that are much higher than minimum wage. So it's already built in a way that we know that the hours are longer. That's why our industry is particular in that sense.
Attorney, I hope you understand, no? Kasi kami no sa pelikula, naintindihan namin, iba yung industriya namin, wala kaming amo rito, wala kaming pinagre-reportan, wala kaming opisina rito. I'm talking about the actors, and the actors as well. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for putting that out, no? Kung naman sa overtime sa mga producers naman tanong ko, 16 hours, after, magbibigay pa ba kayo ng overtime? Halimbawa, pakiusapan niyo itong mga artista, mga workers? Kasi usually, internal agreement, hindi natapos yung shooting, kailan mo mag-extend ng oras.
It's not ideal for us, Mr. Chair. Because it's not ideal for us.
It is not ideal for you.
That there will be an because actually what Mr. Morphy was suggesting that it's a hard stop at 16.
Yes.
It's an easier arrangement to manage for us admin wise, because at least it's simple. You count everybody, because the moment there is overtime for one individual, it opens up a discussion for all the individuals. Like for instance, if you get an actor to work longer than everybody else, obviously is working longer. And that becomes a complication. So, but we do acknowledge again that every project is different. So if it's on a case per case basis, it's an option, then it's okay. But we agree that the spirit of the law would be to stop at 16 for everybody's health.
Yeah, syempre hindi mo rin maiwasan. No?
Yes, yes, Mr.
Minsan,
Chair.
nag-overtime tayo. Katulad nga ang minention ko kanina, minsan hindi mayroong mga eksena hindi natatapos na kailangan din tapusin. Dahil kung meron kayong play date or whatever sa TV or sa movies, kailangan nyo tapusin. Are you willing to give overtime to these workers?
Below the line.
Yeah, yung discussion, Mr. Chair, about below the line, I think it's very fair because of the rates being lower.
Willing kayo magbigay?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair.
One day? Hindi.
One day?
Magkano overtime?
I think depends on the per hour rate, Mr. Chair.
Per hour?
Yeah. So you have to compute the hourly rate.
Pro rate niya?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Because if you go overtime by an hour or 2 hours, then we pay for the 1 hour or 2 hours.
Bayaran niyo pang araw.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Permission to be recognized, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I think that the question that needs to be addressed first is this: and that we've been harping that in our position papers, that we need to harmonize certain provisions of the proposed legislation and the labor code. Because, for example, the grant of overtime pay and premium night differential pay is actually a species of benefit that is peculiar po sa ating labor code. Now, the question that presents itself for us, the producer side, is this: certain positions po sa industriya, are they even employees or are they independent contractors? For example, let me just cite one particular case. Nandito po yung mga taga-ABS-CBN. Ang landmark case po dyan, yung case ni Sonsa. Sinabi po ng yes po, si
Jason Sonsa?
Yeah, Jose Sonsa po, Jason Sonsa po, mas kilala natin. Doon po sa kasong yon, nag-file po ng illegal dismissal si Mr. J. Sonsa. Ang theory niya ay regular employee siya ng ABS-CBN, notwithstanding the fact na noong 1994, ang sweldo niya po is close to 380,000 per month. Malaking pera yun ngayon, mas malaking pera nung panahon na yun. Ang sabi po ng Supreme Court doon sa kasong yun, yung relationship, for example, ni Mr. Sonsa and ABS-CBN, alam naman po natin na sa kasong yun, si Mr. Sonsa was a host of a TV program. Ang sabi po doon sa kasong yun, hindi po siya regular employee. Independent contractor po siya. In the same way, probably po na pag si Senator Estrada o si Senator Padilla ay kinuha kong artista sa aming pelikula, yung relationship po natin ay hindi regular employment. And the principle here is yung freedom to contract. Malaya tayong nakakapag-usap tungkol sa inyong rates. Of course, dahil sa stature ninyo, hindi na yung relationship po ninyo with any producer or any TV network is more or less equal. Kaya nga rin po, that is the reason why doon po sa mga proposed legislation, titignan din po natin yung how we need to harmonize certain provisions. Kung kayo po ay actor o director, yung pong mga or probably head writer, yung pong rates niyo is dictated by the contract that you entered into. Pero kaya nga po ang hirap, for example, gawan ng tiering na magbibigyan pa ng overtime pay ang isang aktor na ang rate niya is 350,000 per taping day. So magko-compute pa po tayo dyan, magmamat pa tayo. Or bibigyan pa po natin siya ng night differential because from our stand ng mga producers and TV network, yung pong rate that has been determined by contract is the rate for that particular taping day or for that particular shooting day, kung ganun po yung rate. O minsan nga po sa pelikula, project rate, kabuuan ng project, ito yung ibabayad. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney. Meron pa? Yan, kakota ka na, mamaya ka na.
Hello, sir. I'm Mark Villafuerte from Associated Trade Unions of the Philippines. Actually, gusto ko sana na mag-react from yung mga napagkasunduan rin yung last hearing, like in the 14 hours. Actually, yung pinaka-fundamental dito sa nakikita namin kasi di ba nga, Garcia bilang tinatawag nito, no? So if we are to address yung pinaka-issue dito na yung the hazards that led to his death, we have to sticking to the same 16 hours would cut it. I mean, I remember when I was working in the industry, 16 hours is the minimum time that I would work in. Actually, 12 hours, mabilis pag sa documentaries. Yun yung pinakamabilis. Pero 16 hours is minimum. Actually, ang typical niya, nakikita ko 24. Pero nakikita po namin is, it's still not covered kasi you have to address the fundamental issues na kaya nga kailangan pag-usapan nyo aside from yung occupational health issues, kailangan pag-usapan nyo yung security of tenure issues kasi it leads to that, di ba? Kasi kaya naman yung kahit dito sa yung ABC test of control test para sa employment based on sa California sa legislation na doon. Yung isa naman sinasuggest nga namin yung napagkasundo ang 14 hours last time is pwede plan na may scaled na kung every 2 years binabawasan 13 hours tapos 12 hours para yung workflow ng lahat i-address na unti-unti masali lahat para mapunta sa 12. Kasi nga ang issue dito is maging norm makumbaga mag-conform with the rest of the legislation. As it is yung 12 hours na yan, pinag-usapan natin maximum. Actually, with sa practices, yun yung standard eh. The actual standard should be 8. So, as it is, pinag-usapan na yun eh. So, if we want to address yung the hazards that led to yung landmark case na kay Mr. Garcia is, kailangan talaga i-address yung issues na. Otherwise, doon the same and expecting results. Ano nangyayari dyan? I'm glad na wala nang decision to R1152 nagkakaroon na because of the pandemic na silver tayo yan. Nasabi lahat ng unti-unti okay. Why not pagtagbo sa better working business for all. Kasi pinag-usapan namin dito yung test na yung balance in the total term. Kasi the creative part, okay yan, naintindihan namin na yung creative effort takes time. And siyempre, those at the top, mas may power sila, mas may bargaining power. Mas kaya mo lang yung residents accounted for. Pero yung gawin mo araw-araw, sayang. Kaya nga meron yung pinalabas nila 8 hours, sinasabi ko tayo ng balance 8 hours rest, 8 hours work, and 8 hours to do as you do, family time, education time. Kaya may balance yung tinatawag mo because it's a universal need. Kasama nga sa sinabi mo kahit yung potential protections na kunyari sinasuggest namin is an industry-wide something like the German society does it with the 20 workers. Meron silang fund na kung saan i-contribute part ng gobyerno yung SSS regular employment, 50% is yours, yung employee, 50% is the employer. So yung 50% employer side, pwede gawin kunyari 20% sa gobyerno, 20% galing sa industry. Bawat project something like sa construction industry sa India. Construction industry kasi similar to industry na maraming formality. So maraming levels. Kasi nga, that's the social protection. May sustainable development na inaabot tayo. Ibigay natin. So, saan yung address na naman ito? It's fundamental. And we're glad na it's being addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Mark Villana. Okay, we'll have to do this faster. Yes.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Benjamin Alvera po from Benjamin Alvera po from the Sentro ng mga Nagkakaisa at Progresibong Manggagawa. Haba na
Sentro Nagkakaisang?
Mga Nagkakaisa at Progresibong manggagawa. Sorry, haba ng pangalan. So we represent workers in the public and private sector, including po dito sa broadcast through the NABU, the National Alliance of Broadcast Unions. So affiliate po namin sila. At gusto ko lang din po balikan yung ina-emphasize po kanina, no? Kanina pa, na isang malaking problema sa pag-establish nga ng regulation dito sa industriya pong ito ay peculiar siya. At kita po natin na iba't ibang pangangailangan, iba't ibang mga konteksto. At gusto lang namin dagdag ngayon ay konteksto naman at punto de vista po ng mga technical workers o yung mga manggagawa po sa likod ng camera na may sariling mga kondisyon sa trabaho na iba sa naranasan at pangailangan ng mga artista, etc. Halimbawa sa work o sa hours worked, para po sa iba dito lumalabas na consensus ay 16 hours maximum. Actually para po sa mga miyembro namin based sa mga konsultasyon across sa mga unions namin sa TV5, GMA, ABS-CBN, lumalabas na para po sa amin 12 hours sa maximum. Isagaran na yun sa amin. So isa po yung difficulty so how do we harmonize given na iba-iba ang pangailangan ng mga manggagawa sa isang industriya. So open po kami sa patuloy na pakipag-usap at dialogo for that. At kaya rin po na-mention yung usapin ng security of tenure Kasi po na-mention nga kanina na isang mahalagang pag-usapan at klaruhin ay ano yung difference between regular employees and independent contractors. Kasi po sa karanasan po namin naabuso po yung kategory na independent contractor. Yung mga trabaho po ng mga technical workers, mga camera crew na essential para po sa production, essential para sa trabaho ay for some reason na nakaklasify as independent contractor. So para po sa amin isa yun mahalagang tugunan ng pansin. Kailangan po natin ma-address yung endemic misclassification of employees. So isa lang po yun. So secretive tenure, misclassification of employees na nag-undermine po sa right to self-organization ng mga manggagawa. So ilan lang po to at siguro po may mga salient points din na po pwedeng mapag-usapan po further with actors groups. In particular po, isa din pong gusto rin namin matugunan ay yung kultura sa workplace. In particular, yung may mga issues po tayo sa workplace abuse, harassment, verbal, physical, emotional, sexual. If may mga cases po na yun, open po kami na pag-usapan yun dahil hindi po rin yun tinatanggap ng mga manggagawa. At isa din po na gusto namin mapag-usapan at ay yung problema po nung non-compete clause na kahit po mga technical workers ay nasasaklawan nun. So ilan lang po to sa mga bagay na gusto po namin din matugunan at open po kami na makapag-usap sa mga producers, actors, organizations para masigurado natin na yung framework na nililikha po natin dito ay protektado po lahat mula sa artista hanggang sa camera crew hanggang sa bahala sa lighting, etc. Salamat po.
Salamat, Ginoong
Benjamin.
Anyway, we will invite you pagdating sa technical working group to share your opinion and insights. Right? Ano ba? Kasi meron pa ako hearing na natin doon. Yeah, Manny.
Chairman, balik na po lang yung issue tinatanong mo kanina tungkol sa overtime pay. Kami po sa aming grupo, kaya hindi namin tinatanggap ang extension for the information of everybody, magiging malaking gulo po yun Kasi ang remuneration or overtime pay ng mga networks or producer depends, hindi po pantay-pantay Meron pong bibigyan ng additional 1 whole day, may iba 1/2. So pag nalaman ng iba, ay ba't kami kalahati lang binayad sa amin, ay kalahati, ba't doon buo? So meaning, ang point ko po, wala na talaga po sanang extension ang working hours, wala nang overtime, wala nang babayarang kasi lahat po kami naka-fix na alam namin sa utak namin na ang aming fee for a day, ganoon. Para hindi na po tayo magkaroon ng selusan. At talagang treatment po, no offense meant to the producers and network, iba-iba ang treatment nila sa payment ng extension and overtime. I am a victim of such.
Thank you. Thank you. Salita ko ulit.
Isang huling karagdagan lang. One reason why we think 16 hours is not going to cut it as far as occupational health needs go. So, kasi, once you start with from onwards, medyo nag-decline na talaga yung productivity niya at saka yung activity doing things. Kaya nga, Mr. Garcia is ganun nga. So, fundamental talaga yung issue itong i-address natin yung work hours na yun sana magandang unti-unting scale down para masanay lang lahat. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to remind the producers concerned or present here today, kasi nung last consultation, meron mga ibang grupo na nagko-complain dun sa kanilang lalo na yung mga talents. I think particularly yung mga talents, yung grupo ng mga talents. Minsan nireklamo sila kasi wala silang, minsan naka standby area, nasa corridor lang sila, nasa kalsada lang sila. Tapos yung kanilang CR, wala silang magamit na CR, pati yung pagkain nila, iba yung pagkain ng talents saka ron sa mga artista. Saka yung pagtrato daw sa kanila hindi raw maganda. So siguro iwasan natin yung mga ganong klaseng at bigyan natin sila ng wala nga sweldo niya. Iwasan natin, bigyan natin sila ng standby area kung pwede yung mga talents. Kasi yun ang kanilang reklamo before. Yes.
My name po is Ana Puad from PTV, but gusto ko lang pong ibigay yung aking personal opinion kasi yung ibang mga nire-raise po ng mga resource person, I think po mas dapat ang i-push po natin yung legislation para sa mga manggagawa po sa broadcast and news media kasi baka nakakalito po doon sa industriya nila dahil iba po talaga yung nature ng mga nasa film industry. So kung ako po ay yun pong mas gusto ko pong idulog sa inyo na kung meron po kayong pending bill para naman po sa benepisyo po sa welfare ng mga journalist at mga nasa media po, yun po yung gusto namin i-push at baka sa separate na hearing o ibang pag-uusap po, doon po
I
natin.
think during the last hearing, we already tackled my other bill, Major Workers Welfare Act. Now we're just concentrating first on the Eddie Garcia bill.
Correct po.
At yung Major Workers Welfare Act, I think we will submit it already to the technical working group as well as this Eddie Garcia bill.
Correct po, Senator. Para lang po dun sa kaalaman po ng mga kasama namin kasi yung iba pong sinusulong nila ay mas bagay po doon po natin mabring up para hindi po tayo makasama na sa komplikasyon po nung ginagawa po dito sa bill po para sa mga nasa film industry.
Alright, thank you.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Magandang araw po, Mr. Chair. Yung pong tinutukoy ni Miss Ana po, yun po kasi kami po, naniniwala kami sa broadcast na yung film at yung sa television ay hindi na po nagkakalayo. Ay katunayan po yung aksidente na nangyari sa mahal natin si Eddie Garcia ay ayun po ay programa sa television po. So sa ngayon po yung plataforma na nilalabasan ng movie tsaka television ay isang na rin po sa mga video streaming. Yun po, kaya naniniwala po kami na sa aming nga pong posisyon, gusto namin pong i-merge yung batas dito sa Eddie Garcia Law at sa Media and Entertainment Workers Welfare Act. Yun lamang po, maraming salamat.
Okay, salamat. Before we adjourn, I think Senator Robin has something to say. Kanyang closing remark.
Maraming salamat po, Chairman. Gusto ko lamang po malaman ng lahat yung pinag-usapan po natin ng Eddie Garcia bill. Nag-shooting ako, Chairman. Sinubukan ko yung 10 hours. Sa tulong po ng mga profesional, ng mga tao, nagawa namin ng 12 hours.
Action.
Opo, action. Hard action. Nagpasabog pa kami ng truck.
12 hours pagka-grind.
Yung grind. Bali, all in all, 14 hours. Yung travel, punta doon, preparation. Kasi na-inspire kami by Direct Coco Martin. Kasi nung nakausap natin si Direk Coco Martin, sinabi niya nagagawa nila ng 12 hours. Nung una, hindi ako makapaniwala. Sabi ko, parang binabola yata ako ni Coco. Kaya ang ginawa ko, nag-shooting ako. Ginawa ko ng mga tao niya sa Batang Quiapo. Nagawa namin. Well, hard action to.
It's doable. Doable.
Pati pagkain, sinubukan namin. Yun lang yung pagkain ng chairman, sinubukan namin ng 150. Medyo hindi masaya yung mga tao sa 150. Sinubukan namin yung 250. Masaya yung mga tao sa 250. Kasi yung 150, parang tawag doon, parang, ano ba, styro. Nasa styro.
Paklats. Yung 215, di ba paklats? Okay.
Ikot yung mga tao, unlimited rice, pwede siyang gano'n. At pinupuan din namin, may merienda. Masaya sila, may merienda. Sinubukan din namin, anong tawag doon, yung binibigay lang pera? Allowance. So, sinubukan din namin yun kasi magpapakap kami ng alas 6. Sinubukan namin binibigyan lang ng pera. Kaya din sila doon kasi dala na naman yung pera. Kaya ang sana namin, ang punto ko, Chairman, kung gusto natin talaga matapos ng 12 hours, kaya. Kasi kami, hindi naman kami nagkaroon ng preparasyon na 1 linggo.
Nasa pre-prod lang muna.
Nasa talaga, yung sikreto. Kaya yun lang po, Chairman, gusto ko lang po magpasalamat sa dalawang artista.
Senator Robin, hindi lang siguro sa pre-prod. Kasi ang nireklamo rin, ang inimungkahan rin ni Direk Coco when we talked to him 2 weeks ago. Kasi pagdating sa set, minsan mas matagal yung chismisan, yung kwentuhan, yung mga marites-marites dyan. So, naiiwasan, siguro sa set niya, naiiwasan yung mga kwentuhan, yung mga chismisan pagdating sa set. Kaya pagdating sa set, trabaho ka agad.
Tama po. Yan po ang ginawa namin, Chairman. Wala mo nang kwentuhan doon, talagang trabaho lang. Kaya po, Chairman, po namang pasalamat sa dalawang artista na nagpunta dito. Kay Mr. Dingdong Dantes, saka kay Miss Isa Calzado, at sa lahat po, siyempre, ng mga artista at taga-pelikula. Ito special mention ko lang sila kasi sa totoo lang po, sa kultura ng pelikulang Pilipino, mahalaga yung bida. Kapag yung bida ang nag-umpisa ng mga katulad ng mga ganitong pagkilos, nakiisa yung bida doon sa mga maliliit na tinatawag po namin, yung mga kulo, yung utility. Kapag nakiisa doon yung bida, kikinig ang producer. Ewan ko sa panahon nyo nila. Pero sa panahon ko namin, kapag nagreklamo kasi yung artista na sinasabi ng bida, yung pagkain naman, ayusin naman yung pagkain. Nakikinig yung producer. Kapag sinabi ng bida sa producer na isa't kalahating araw na po kami nag-taping, baka pwede naman po bigyan naman ninyo ng overtime yung mga tao, nakikinig ang mga producer. Kaya napakahalaga po sa ganitong usapin, nakasama natin yung mga bida. Katulad nila Coco Martin, katulad po nila Dingdong Dantes, sila Miss Isa Calzado, kasama natin dito. Kaya sana po, mas marami pa na mga bida ang sumama sa atin sa ganitong usapin para may boses,
may influence,
may boses, maliliit. Kasi katulad po kasama natin sa ABS-CBN, dati kami lang. Bash pa ako ng kanulat kanan na hindi ko na alam saan ko ilalagay yung panahon na yun. Pero, tagumpay naman kami. Kaya sana, mas marami pa, Chairman, ang tumayo para sa usapin na to. At po naman po sa Dole, nabilihan ako kay Dole, share ba po talaga ang environment sa ng Pilipino sa television at ganun din sa media. Iba po talaga. Hindi po siya maipupunta sa ibang trabaho. Sa amin, hindi lang hindi lang lakas ng talino, hindi lang ganun ang ulan po namin sa trabahong ito. Ang kaluluwa at emosyon, lahat nandun na. Kaya iba po talaga ang aming industriya. Yun lamang po, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat, Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Robin. Again, I would like to encourage all stakeholders concerned to please be united as one. And we will have another consultation probably by November when I submit my committee report before the plenary dito sa Senate. And I do not want here. I want a win-win solution for everybody. Because what I said earlier, pag ito naging basura itong batas na ito, lahat tayo babagsak dito sa industry nito. That's why I want to seek all your inputs, your opinion para magkaroon tayo ng isang batas na pakikinabangan ng lahat ng movie workers dito sa ating bansa. Kasi alam ko yung ating movie industry is already kumbaga on a downtrend. Matagal na tayo nasa downtrend and I really want to help the movie industry. Of course, as your senators, talagang gusto namin talagang bigyan ng buhay, bigyan ng sigla muli ang industriya ng pelikulang Pilipino. Anyway, your committee will craft the substitute bill that will be presented to the plenary and we will conduct again a technical working group the whole month of October. Makikipag-ugnayan po sa inyo ang ating COMSEC, yung ating committee secretary para dito at ngayon pa lamang ay nagpapasalamat na kami sa inyong tulong at suporta na binigay niyo po rito sa Eddie Garcia bill. Again, I would like to thank all the resource persons who went out of their way to attend this hearing. And I will assure you that this bill will be a happy bill for everybody. Thank you very much for attending. Hearing is now adjourned.
Speaker, distinguished sponsor, I end my interpellation.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, next on the list of our interpellators, I move that we recognize the Honorable Edsel Lagman of the 1st District of Albay.
The Honorable Edsel Lagman of the 1st District of Albay is recognized to interpellate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished lady,